I guess it's nice. I don't really think about him being there a lot. I guess.
So professional.
Nice on the stage presence.
Cameras? Yeah, actually.
I forget about him regularly, which I'm sure plenty of people see me pick my nose. So.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm always like.
Okay.
It just makes you more like identifiable.
I would hope so.
It's like,
So you guys,
I feel what he
you
feels.
guys make your way through this this stone tunnel. This tunnel was dug with like picks, and it's marked with, as you go through, you continue to
Trinity
see.
just texted us.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Trinity, you're a nerd. You should be here.
You already recognize Xanathar's symbol, and you keep seeing those symbols as you go through the tunnel. As you get to the end of the tunnel, you guys are met with a fairly small wooden door that seems to has like one hinge and is kind of wedged into the wall at an angle. It looks really old, and it doesn't look like it's even. It's not locked, but it's very precarious.
Look at all these chickens.
Precarious. Look at all these chickens. Look at all these chickens, baby. Oh.
All these chickens.
These sweeties. Okay. So there's a door. What's our marching order? How are you guys going down this tunnel? First?
Oh yeah.
Head first.
Sayla's first. Who's behind Sayla?
I am hiding within Sayla's armor if possible, since I'm so small.
You're a rat. You can pretty much fit on any person anywhere you want. Sayla, you're in your full plate mail right now, kind of chomping along, correct? You get disadvantage on stealth, right?
I sure do.
Beautiful. What's your AC?
18.
Beautiful. Minerva, like we said, you're a little black rat, correct?
Yes. Sorry.
And what's your AC? As a rat?
Can you be in my space while we travel?
Yeah.
That's why I'm hiding within Sayla's
All right, Dell.
What's up?
What's your AC?
17.
17. You're right behind Sayla?
Yeah, I'm in Sayla's space.
Awesome. Yeah. So right up on her.
Yep.
It's nice that she isn't offended by you constantly being in her space.
She can't tell.
Nicole, if you want to roll a little bit closer towards Rice.
I don't want to touch him.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's fair. This music's so nice.
Wow. Oh yeah.
All right. And then behind him, are we just going on the table? Is that the marching order?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Well, then we'll just make the marching order. Halleck, what's your AC?
15.
And Halleck, you are an Azamar arcane archer.
Yep.
And Kara,
17.
17 is your AC.
Damn.
And you are a Eldritch Knight. You are a fighter, correct?
Fire and lightning.
Nice. What kind of weapons do you use again?
I have a short sword and a war pick.
You're two-handed, correct?
And my short sword
What is that?
was magical, we found out recently.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Meryl down there at the end of the table, our resident wizard witchy wizard. What's your AC?
My AC is 13.
Cool. And you're at the rear, I assume, reading through your notes.
Goals.
As you've been characterized by me every time you're not here, you're just constantly shuffling through the pages of your
Necromancy.
well, the Mad Mage's notebook specifically.
Right.
Okay.
Wizardry is very hard. Takes lots of practice.
It's true.
I have to study.
Right now, you should be stealthy.
I'm
'cause
smarter than all of
you're
you.
You're in a tunnel right now, so.
Shh.
There you go.
I'm reading.
Sayla,
I'm gonna save your asses.
You get up to the door, and what do you do?
Down. Check the door.
Put down your phone and check the door.
For traps. Sorry. Non-nat 20. Investigation for traps.
The door has the one hinge. It has no traps. It seems to have the only thing that has happened to it is it's been neglected. No one's walked
Kind
through
of
here in a
old
long time. Yeah. So
Is it locked?
it doesn't have a lock, so you can just pull it open. And when you pull it open, it reveals a very narrow staircase. Do you have your dancing lights cast?
The little orbs that
Yeah.
float and cast light.
And they float. They kind of float just enough ahead to light, so the people with dark vision can see beyond. Obviously, you guys are trying to take kind of cautionary measures as you traverse these areas. But this is a very narrow staircase, only barely 5 feet, and it goes up into what is a spiral, and it's just kind of this little tunnel. And you guys start to kind of go up. And as you do, roll a perception, everybody. You have a 19, don't you?
Yeah, my
Perception.
passive. No,
Okay,
my
never mind.
passive perception
Never
is
mind.
18.
I'm just gonna
Passive
stop asking you guys
investigation.
to roll perceptions.
Can I pre-cast a spider climb?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you cast spider climb, and then
Very cool.
I'm not gonna use it just
Mousy.
yet,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna.
How long does it last?
Up to an hour.
Oh, cool. Yeah, do that. Do that. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
My
You-
passive perception is an 18. My investigation is a 19.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you at first the stone feels like cave wall, and as you run your hands across it, maybe to balance yourselves, or as you guys walk up this very narrow hallway, the bumpiness of it feels cool, and then starts to feel warmer to the touch as the stone starts to have a little bit more of a give and a little bit of a sliminess, and you kind of like maybe react, pull your hand away, and as you look at it, you all at the same time kind of notice that the wall has all these knots in it, and the knots are opening up, and eyes are just kind of looking up at you through the hallway. If anyone knows you're here, they already know you're here. If anyone's plugged into that system,
Right.
I mean Xanathar is dead. So, but the walls of this narrow, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and the eyes glow with a faint magical light. You definitely feel like you're being watched, but nothing else happens. They just kind of creepily follow you guys as you head up, and you make your way into the Guts and Garden. That was the name of that place. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you. This is how we're gonna do this. I have rooms, so roll Tara, roll a D10.
Not in the tray, not a bit. 10.
10. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. Move our Chinese food and make some room.
Somebody move those wontons.
Our centerpiece for the evening.
Yes.
Wontons.
Nice.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. But at least that would
That's wonton.
It's just a wonton.
Do you eat that wonton?
It's a one dance.
You know, make that wonton.
You.
Ooh,
you
you
know I'm gonna eat that
wonton.
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 No, I ate that wonton.
You sound like a word anymore.
I pulled out at the last second. You're gonna eat that.
I saw you just making eye contact.
Second guess yourself.
Always.
Anxiety.
That was great.
Yes. Oh.
Okay. And that door right there is the one you can go through, so you guys can grab your minis and throw them in the room if you want to.
This door?
That one right there.
Here is narrow the witch.
Ah, there's a mouse!
Oh my gosh.
She's got her hat glued back on.
It came. It was detached.
Yeah, it
It's
popped
detachable. Pull on. Come on. What? God, Jimmy.
You better have mending.
Why are
You just
the
like
way you
the
are?
bombs to like just break stuff.
You better have
I just wanna
mending.
break it.
As soon as you guys
Break
enter,
it.
I bet you see some mending.
as soon as you guys enter this space, everyone make me a wisdom saving throw.
Dope.
No.
That's not what I would do.
Oh my
That
god.
is, oh my goodness.
Very cool. Not nat 20.
13.
Okay.
5.
Very cool. You're good at that.
4.
Okay.
Non nat 20.
I'm a
Okay.
little. I'm one
15.
worse.
Oh yeah.
13 or lower, and you fail. If you failed, you take a level of exhaustion.
Oh no.
much?
As your brain feels like it is being like crushed inside of your head. As you guys pour into the room,
Go out.
almost as if you,
Go take another nap.
almost as if they were hidden invisibly in the room.
Almost as if?
Yeah. A mind flayer
No.
and a handful of. Here, I'll use swipe.
I'll kill him.
Well, we're gonna have
I'll
to.
kill him.
These strange creatures that at first glance might look like beholders to you, but are actually like some sort of strange hybrid of beholder and mind flayer called mind witnesses.
What?
They have one large central eye and multiple stalks as well. But they're these like horrible. I'll show you a picture.
Please shoot.
I'll show you a picture.
Why are there mind flayers?
I hate mind flayers.
I hate mind players too.
Remember one of
No, I remember.
yeah, you remember.
There was a mind flayer.
Oh yeah, you remember.
I forgot, but now I remember.
You remember?
We all have some nightmare memories of mind flayers, I'm sure.
I was murdered.
So was I.
So was I.
So
We're about to begin.
Gruesome.
You're
murder.
gonna have to like cut for a second. We need to.
I need to, yeah, can we
Can we leave? I can't do this.
catch a commercial?
So the mind
Oh my
witnesses look like
So
that.
scary.
Why?
And the mind flayer is clothed in very like goth high collar, like this shiny velvety robe that seems to extend all the way to the ground, so you can't see. It's just kind of kind of
Pious fuckers.
yeah.
Why?
Sorry. I love these things. They killed me.
Who's she?
What?
The mind flayer immediately says to you, and also it's in its hands. It's petting. At first, you think it's just a brain. It's just petting this brain, but you see as it kind of floats closer that the brain has legs, like little like chicken paws,
Cute.
and it's
Chickens
some sort
don't
of
have
like
paws.
well.
That's what it says at
That's what
Cowboy.
Chicken paws.
That's what it looks like. They look like paws. I'm describing the artwork from the book. They look like chicken paws. That's all I
I
can.
don't.
They look like dog paws that if they were made of chicken feet.
I don't.
That's the one that helped me picture it.
Here, I'll show you.
It's fine.
I'm tired of looking at the pictures.
I
You
want
show
enough
me.
of this. I'm here for
Stop
It's got an
adding
intellect
me.
devour.
Those are
That's
freaking
awesome.
chicken paws.
Those are
What?
chicken
They're actually paws.
They're chicken paws.
That's kind of cute.
It.
Do you think after we kill the mind flayer that this thing will be our friend?
Everything's
Metagame.
possible. The what?
Be real. Metagame with
Who?
you.
Who are you asking about?
Okay.
He wants to befriend that guy.
That thing? You want to befriend an intellect devourer. We'll see.
The intellect.
Give it your best
devourer.
shot.
You want to befriend the intellect devourer.
The intellect
That
devourer.
could be
I mean, if it's
something.
better to have
Kinda
him for
cute.
us than against us.
I don't know if it works that way.
We'll
What?
see. Dell's gonna find out.
The mind flayer
Until-
looks around at the lot of you
You're
as you're
already
all,
stupid.
I assume,
You're
getting,
already stupid.
getting into defensive
Bullshit.
stances.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as you do, it kind of like leans forward, and it says, "Forgive." It says, "How do I want it to sound?" Forgive my pet's interactions. We did not mean you any harm. It's saying this in your head, of course. It's just telepathy.
Yeah.
It's got these like. horrible tentacle mouth. And it's like, and it kind of motions to all the mind witnesses who are all poised with their little eyeballs ready to fire little beams at you. And when he does that, they all kind of just float away and start kind of moving. Like, I don't know, like they're roaming like sentries, but not, all of a sudden they're not paying attention to you at all. And he says, "You will come with me." And then just kind of turns around and...
I'm really tired, guys.
You were so emphatic with that nod.
You have to over-exaggerate for fun.
That's the rule.
That
You
is
got a camera.
That's
everything
the
bigger.
rule.
Overdo it.
So what do you guys do?
Do
you
more.
do you just say, "Sure, I will follow you"?
We're all
crazy
like-
monster. Or are you going to attack it when it turns its back to you?
Yes.
I'm not attacking that thing. I'm tired.
Quick vote.
Halleck yawns and light comes in.
Quick vote. Attack.
Raise your hand.
Yes.
To the level of
I feel
exhaustion.
Just follow it? Where?
We don't have to attack it now.
Can we
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, he says like you came through our perimeter
Yeah.
without our knowledge, and
Yeah.
the mind witnesses, as a reaction, they form a neural network, and they just like
We got caught in their little trap.
it's
Right.
an alarm too.
Right.
So they know we're here now, so we're just gonna kind of maybe
Yeah.
try to.
Sure. Can we like ready actions maybe and see what happens? Or
We should just follow that guy.
You can ready an action depending on what you want to do.
Just
Yeah,
start
but he-
off the hip.
honestly, if you guys pull out your swords or
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
not
all
doing any of that.
but if you do, the mind flayer kind of blinks at you kind of wetly and just kind of keeps moving. Like he doesn't. He's real alien and hard to read to begin with, but then it doesn't even give you any indication that it's, so you could be like, if you are like getting spells ready, it doesn't seem to be bothered by
doesn't?
it.
Can we try to get information out of it?
Yeah.
Probably
I-
which means
yeah.
we have to follow it, so we're following
Yes.
it.
So it's gliding down the hall, but not at a rush pace. It's petting the intellective hour in its hand, and it like says to you like,
Everything follows.
"You are hungry, yes."
Everything follows.
Yeah, I mostly went that for dramatic effect.
Oh, I know. Well, it was dramatic. I thought we were about to have to fight all of these things. Are we alone with the mind flayer now?
You guys are just going down a series of tunnels, but there are different like veers. You guys could sneak away from it if you want to. You can
Let's see what's up.
you can sneak into it. The one thing you do notice as you're going through now, you continue to pass more and more of these mind witnesses. They're kind of hard to keep track if it's the ones you saw before or if there are a lot of them. But they seem to be kind of floating through this place, kind of just like keeping watch. All the doors, a lot of the doors are boarded up or have been sealed off with magic. So you can see like glowing runes on some of the locks as you walk by. Like someone went through here and boarded this place up and locked it down after Xanathar was killed. So in like hopes to maintain all the assets and to keep the Xanathar's stuff from disappearing, it's all been boarded up and locked away. And that's the vibe you're getting here. There are a lot of spaces. Roll a you're my resident lock picker. Roll an investigation as you guys are walking by these locks.
Nice.
Yeah, 21.
Cool. So you notice that like all the way they have these boarded up, even the sloppy jobs it'd be very noisy to knock down some of these doors, or it's going to take a minute because some of them have some magic locks on them and stuff. That this would not be a quick job. It would be very hard to break into.
No smash and grab. Get out of here without.
How long
Yeah.
does it take to cast knock?
I think you can just.
Yeah,
But
like
that's
one
very
action.
loud.
It's
It
very,
is loud.
Yeah, it's loud.
Okay.
But that's just kind of offhand knowledge. Just like you guys are walking, trying to absorb as much information as you can, right? And it's kind of like it keeps maintaining this pseudo like friendly like nature of like asking you if you need something. Do you require
He's
hydration?
being accommodating.
Yeah, in like a weird like mind flayer way.
Alien.
Can I
kinda
ask him a
way.
question?
Yes.
Are you in charge here?
I am not.
Who is?
I am taking you to the Xanathar.
What?
The Xanathar.
Yes, the Xanathar bade me to come get you and take you to his chambers.
Okay.
We are stoked to meet him.
I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Sure, yes, of course.
We were gonna go fight him anyway. We
He
don't
is
wanna,
most pleased that you are here, especially you. And then, as he
Oh.
says that, he gestures with his hand, and this round door that has like a camera lens, like slider to it, opens.
I remember this door.
Yeah, you remember that door. And he motions you through into the room, and as you do, I mean, you can if you want to. Yes, you all just go into the Xanathar's chambers.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? All right, everybody, roll me a Constitution save.
Oh, yes.
Oh
No,
my
I
God!
Oh, I thought you were
Why
so
not?
serious.
I thought
that's what
wouldn't
we were
that be
doing.
the
I was like,
case?
let's get this party
sure.
started.
I'm
No,
pretty sure I spent the entire last battle with Xanatar rolling like
Constitution
Yeah,
says, yeah,
save
exactly.
Save after
Yeah,
save
you
after
were
save.
stun
No,
locked the entire time.
Stunned, yeah, or paralyzed or something. Anyways,
I guess I'm
when you walk into the room, there are two things you notice about this space. Well, maybe you would notice, but in our metagame, this room is not filled with that like misty substance
That purple, like,
that purple mist
vapor.
that like locked her soul into the room. That's gone. This room is temperate and cool and like AC controlled. It's like a nice 72 degrees in there right now.
As a former spy on Xanathar, I may be familiar with Xanathar's former layers.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to know?
Does Del know this meta knowledge?
About what?
The weird purple vapor being.
Sure. I mean, beholders have a.
So he would know that it's like an altered.
You know that this room is not set up for the conditions for a beholder to live in it right now.
Okay.
It is less creepy and gross than when you were in there, and actually in the space where there was kind of like that vat where he would rest in, and like all this different like weird alien-looking tubing and different like bodies and things. There's been furniture that's been brought in, and there's a desk. There's this big mahogany desk that's sitting in the middle of the room, and this figure in a cloak stands back to you, and a couple other. There's another. Let's see who else is in this room. There are a few people in this room, but you can tell that the person of import is their back is turned to you, and there's a couple other figures in hoods. And he turns around, and when he turns around, he yells, "Baby sister!"
I dropped my halberd.
What?
Oh, yes.
What?
And it's Macus Slackman.
Yeah, it is.
And
Del reacts exactly how I react.
and the mind flayer says,
Macus.
"I present the Xanathar," and then like walks out, and he like laughs. And I guess that's maybe where the episode would start, and we'd actually like do credits. That's how we should do this from now on.
Oh, no.
We should start.
We need a bump and
That's what we'll do. Okay, starting next week, we'll start the stream, and when the action starts, we'll do the intro then, just to be pedantic and stupid. We'll make sure people tune out immediately. If something is hitting good, I make them watch
Alienate
a
our
stupid animated thing. All right.
With all the B-roll footage.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so he's like,
Burn.
he's baby sister.
I take my helmet off. Is he like running up to
He
me?
comes up to you, and you're taller than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like,
He's
look
a
at
little guy.
you. You're
Yeah.
What's
Roll your attack.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, none of us would know that.
I was just like,
What's
what
happening?
the fuck?
Yeah, that's a non-nat 20.
You broke his nose.
Yeah, you punch him right in the face. Go ahead and you don't have tap and roll, right?
No.
Yeah, so you do 1 damage. And when you do, make me a wisdom saving throw as the mind flayer immediately turns around and starts to blast you. And as you're rolling that, he goes, "Stop!" You don't have to roll it anymore.
Okay.
As he stops. I don't know. I was trying to think. How do you can't really do that. That was me trying something that didn't work.
You could have waited half a second longer.
Yeah.
For the roll.
You just made him roll.
Yeah.
Instead of
I still have the roll if you want me to use it.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, basically everyone rushes to like
The
attack
effect's gone.
the
Yeah.
warrior
defend.
woman
Yeah.
that's just punched, and he's like, no, stop,
Brilliant.
he says, don't touch her. And as soon as he says that, they all just like passively just like, okay.
Did I see maybe how many figures were in the room then?
It is just at that point it was just the mind flayer, whose name is Orvo. There is also a woman you now recognize. She's a little bit older, maybe in her like 50s. She has real short hair, like mercenary garb, and she's been kind of standing there behind him, kind of with her. You can't really see her face that well. She's been just kind of, I don't know, standing guard or being kind of mysterious.
Did she go to attack?
You saw her reach for like a dagger or something, but she stopped before. She wasn't really broadcasting her movements, but I'd say you guys probably all saw it because she's the only other person in the room. But yeah, so after you punch him, he's like, he's like, you're strong. That's incredible. He says, and you're mad. He says, and rightfully so.
You sent me away when I was 15, Macus, to the Underdark.
I know.
To fight Drow.
I know.
I should punch you again.
You
I
should.
feel like since I'm inside your armor, it'd be like echoing really loud. Yeah. No
Like that
idea
right
kind of really what's going on.
the family
You gotta be hero
issues
point for
with this
smacking him in
bunch.
the face.
I like that.
He's like,
We all take a step back and listen very closely.
Right? We all just like.
To the Jews. Spill
And
that tea.
as he's doing that, I say, but, and I grab like this part and I like pick him up and hug him.
nice.
Oh.
What do you do? He hugs you back, and he says,
We
"He says,
all
baby
laugh.
sister,"
Yeah,
and he's like, look at you, you're horrible, you're horrified. He says it's wonderful. He's just
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, he's just so proud of like this. He's like, I sent you away. He said, not he sent you for your, I know you can't see this, and he says, I feel stupid even saying it now, but at the time I thought it was for your own good, but I regretted it every day that I sent you away. I should have kept you. I was weak. I was trying to cover for father's mistakes. He says you were too young to remember.
I'm glad you're alive.
He said, and
Take
just
us some time to get over this.
said just barely. He said too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he basically goes on to kind of explain his situation. He looks at the woman and he says, "They're all safe." He says, "These are my friends," and he kind of introduces himself. "Hi, I'm Macus Lackman. Nice to meet you. And your name?"
Why? I'm Meryl, the witch of the last midnight.
Oh, wonderful.
I have the Xanathar. Why are you the Xanathar?
Yes. All will be explained. And he goes around and he kind of explains. Hi, nice to
Why,
meet you.
though?
Nice to meet you.
But why are you?
And he says, Mother, they're fine. He says, leave us be. We don't need you.
Oh, just had a very visceral reaction.
And she kind of like, as she's leaving, she looks back and the first thing she says to you all is, play nice. And then she like leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, Macus, I'm here to help my friend, and I'm gonna continue on my armor and hold my arm out for you to come, like, if you want. It's up to you. Okay, well, she's in here.
We're just rattled.
You're talking about the rat hiding inside your armor, yes?
Yes, I know you know she's there.
Yeah, he looks around and he points at the room and he says, the authority I've been granted is unparalleled. He says, basically that the Xanathar has contingencies set in place for when the Xanathar dies. He said the Xanathar is not a person at all. It's not one person. It never has been. It's a title. It's a mantle. He said, and I was just able to seize it with the help of Mother.
What about the rest of the family? Are they here?
He says, I have plans for all of us. He says, please. He says, all will be explained to you. He says, let's get a room. He's like, it looks like you haven't slept like in a proper bed in days. You were staying in Skullport, I imagine. Absolutely horrible. He's like, let's have some food, get some rest, and basically like. He's like, put your guards down. He starts to kind of explain. He's like, I'm the Xanathar now. He says, this is yours. He's like, this is for you. He's like, this is for all of you. He says,
Hooray!
I'm like, these are your crusaders. Then these are the people that like. He says, I don't care about these things in this place. We're just trying to maintain this facade. He says, I intend to save Waterdeep from itself and from the rest of the world. He says, we'll save not our family, we'll restore our family's name, and we will save the people of Waterdeep.
So you're above Waterdeep, and I'll be below. So he's like,
yeah. And so we'll do like a montage. You guys are actually like getting like to rest. They open up some of the rooms, and like They're nice. You get a bath, some like human comfort things that you haven't had in a while. And your characters can even, if you want to, in your head, I imagine this would be a time where they can find some new, new style or something like that, if you're into that kind of thing.
Oh yes, this is where we all get new costumes.
Yeah, you can get a new costume if you want to. But he meets you for dinner at the big table in this hall, this feasting hall, and it's this big barren space, and everything's been cleared out. And the only thing on the table is this wooden bowl, and he takes this vase of water, a pitcher of water, and he pours it into the bowl. And as he pours it into the bowl, as the bowl fills, the table magically is filled with food. He starts to talk about how the magic has been hoarded by the rich and the powerful for too long. He says that we should take these gifts. He says we have all we need to feed all the children, not just our family, but all the families. And he says, I need your help. He says, I need your help breaking in to Xanathar's vault. He says, unfortunately, that's the one place I haven't been able to get into because he built it to keep himself out. Because of the nature of the Xanathar being a title, he said the Xanathar is looking for a way to reinstate itself. He shows a ring. Basically, he's like, this ring is the ring of Xanathar. He says, in my mind are all of his schemes, all of his plans, all of his thoughts he ever had are kind of smashed in my head. He says, I'm in control of it. It's not something I'm scared of, but I can see bigger picture stuff than I could before. We were squabbling over houses, and there are magics in this vault that we can use to safeguard Waterdeep from the rest of the world. We can use, and he talks about the Sigma Stone. So that's what he wants you to get out of the vault, out of Xanathar's vault. It is this stone that was forged back before this was a city, back when this was an elven kingdom, that was built around this knot in the weave, and he references the Undermountain. The Undermountain is super magical because the magical energies there are knotted together in a way that makes them unstable and super overlapping, and because the weave permeates everything. It's like the Force. So imagine that there's just a big bundle of it, and that's where the Undermountain is. And that's one of the reasons the Undermountain is so weird, is that it's built on this ancient super high magic site. But I digress. You get the Sigma Stone. The Sigma Stone will allow us to basically create a permanent sequestering of Waterdeep and the Undermountain. We'll have enough space for all the people, and we'll be able to exile all the lords. Basically, he's been plotting and planning to get everyone out of the city, all the open houses, by putting in bomb threats. Basically, he's gonna we heard rumors that so and so is being targeted for assassination. Get them out of the city. He's gonna get everyone out of the city, and then bubble everyone else inside the city, and then play dictator. So he's kind of lost. He's kind of off his gourd, but you're already kind of evil. So this is just what
Macus does.
Yeah. So Macus is kind of gone full supervillain.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's
saving the world.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And he says there's plenty of room, so you'll clear out the Undermountain, and we can expand our kingdom downwards.
My kingdom.
Your kingdom. And he nods with you. You can roll an insight if you like.
Okay.
Why even roll an inside? You just know this.
Yeah, I mean, 24.
You believe
that.
You believe him.
Says meaningly.
He says this has always been for you. He says you've become everything I hoped you would be. So he says I can't go into the vault. He gives you the short of it.
Can't, or we just need to break in for him.
The vault was built so that outsiders and aberrations can't enter it. So none of the mind flayers, beholders can't go inside of it, including him. Now that the ring is making him
like an aberration.
Yeah. He says his only men, and he introduces you to the rest of his crew, and there is also Ove and Ivar. They're there as well.
Who?
Oh, Ivar.
Interesting. And his crew just chilling there.
Yeah, as you guys get more comfortable and you're all eating and stuff, they're in the back, and they're not being chummy. They're actually kind of giving you guys dirty looks the whole time. But
does he have a badass scar now?
Yeah.
Who's that? Ivar?
No.
Oh.
Which one? Which one has a scar?
I don't know.
Ove is.
Didn't
the-
you already have a scar?
Ove has a milky eye.
Oh, that's right.
He probably has one to match.
Yeah, because he was taking disadvantage.
The biggest difference is that Ivar doesn't wear any of his human style gear above his waist anymore.
Oh, okay.
And
He's bare chested.
He's bare chested and he's even more humanoid. So he looks like a weird, like, primordial man kind of creature.
Weird.
Like he evolved a few
Yeah.
cycles.
Well, he
forward.
would as he's changing. Gross.
But they're kind of in the back. They're giving you guys.
So he doesn't look like Caesar anymore. He looks like a were ape kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. And he's like, I want to help you guys. So you want to find the Sigma Stone. So hopefully you wrote that down. That is the thing that he needs to activate this ancient architecture that will basically make this elven dimensional shield that will like protect Waterdeep and make it its own like pocket universe.
So him helping us, or him whatever. What's in it for us?
Well, you guys would be the kings of this place. Like, if you, like in his mind.
Cool. So that's the
his
long
mind,
term.
yeah.
That's what's
Okay.
the long term. That's what's in it for us.
You would be like he's talking about a new world and a new
That
world
sounds
order
awesome.
to go along with
Sounds
it.
very cool.
And you all being in charge of that.
What's in it for us short term?
Well, in the short term, basically, you would go help and get this. He has lots of. There's basically. He's like, you guys can. If you can break into a room, you can steal whatever you want from it.
That's all I wanted
Right.
to hear.
But I said it will take time, and he says that some of it's very dangerous, and he says there are a lot of like traps that are still here that I don't know everything, and I don't know if I will be able to, because I'm afraid of trusting on the power of the ring too much. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to like lose his mind to Xanathar.
Loot freely.
Also,
Take care.
he says Mother and I were in ever since since you were downstairs about an hour ago. Says she's putting together some stuff. She's got some care packages for you. Got some gear for
goodie
you.
bags.
I
love goodie bags.
She pulls firstly you, Minerva, and Rift, and anyone else can come if they want to. They're not being shady. But
I will
Pulls.
follow my sister.
Okay.
I'll-
Mother, this is your first chance to interact with Mother. Mother, this time you see her, she's just wearing like a tunic. Now she's a lot more like laid back. She's in this room. This is like you go into her like quarters, where she's just like taking this spot over and is like camping out. She's like she has an easel set up. She's painting over there and like she's a person of varied interest, and you can tell she's wearing a rapier on her hip. She's got a swashbuckling vibe to her in her like lounge, like hanging out gear. Still wearing boots and stuff. She can still kick ass if she needed to. She kind of like gives you all the one over, and she says, "I trust the Xanathar's judgment." She says, "He told me I was to prepare a special elixir for you." She says, "You and Rift, and he's not here, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him his stuff." Hi, Kaylin, if you're watching. I'm gonna give you your stuff, and then I'll tell you about it later. But basically, she very like nonchalantly like looks at all of you, like who's in the room. You're in the room. You are, and then Rift. That's
I
it.
didn't go.
I didn't go.
She looks at all of you, and then in a blink of an eye, her entire form shape shifts into that of like a changeling. She is a doppelganger.
Oh my gosh.
And she kind of shifts between a couple, like, I imagine that she has, like, maybe, like, 6 eyes or so. When she shape-shifts, she has a very, like, kind of fluid, amorphous form. She says, "I prepared for you a vial of my quicksilver blood." And it's in a syringe. And she says that hopefully, she says, "Your dark magic's notwithstanding, I can change you back into a human."
Oh my god. Really?
She says, you possess." So she's holding you in the hand, and she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You possess the qualities of someone who is in a polymorph effect." She says, "Your cells are not like at rest. You're vibrating." She says, "You've changed recently, haven't you?"
Yes.
Yeah. So she says, "There you go. I know exactly what I'm talking about." She says,
Can I roll an insight to see if I trust
"Yeah,
her?
please."
10.
You want a hero point?
I'm gonna roll
She like looks at you, and it sounds like a lot of babble, which could remind you of a lot of your sister, but also a lot of your other sister. So I'll leave it up to you how you feel about it.
I'm curious about it.
Do you want to roll an Arcana on
Yes.
the vial? It's in a syringe, so she's like, I'm going to
I've
have.
been researching for years.
She's
What
like,
are
I'm
you
going to have to
doing?
inject you with this. She said, this is a.
Stab you.
I
This
feel
is
like
It's
I'd
a
be sitting
lot.
at my insight rolls me going,
Yeah. Okay.
A 10
like
is like.
evaluating
I
it.
say, I've been
Yeah, like
working
right
on
at
this
the-
for
What did you roll in your
years.
Arcana?
Ooh,
Damn.
I'm gonna roll again. Oh shoot. Nope, don't have any.
I'll give you one for that, Ritz one.
Thanks. They look. I've erased them so many times it almost looked like I had some there, but I don't. Sweet. Okay. 24. Yeah.
She starts to kind of explain what like as you come over, you're like, well, let me look at that, and she
What
explains that.
secrets do you know that I don't?
This is an elixir made from her blood. She was granted a gift a long time ago by a mystic that allowed her to be able to assume the form of anyone that she was able to form a close bond with, become intimate with, and know personally.
Okay.
Which is
But that would mean she would have to know me to make me.
well, she said
Like human.
using the
Or would I just be a human?
using the Xanathars, some of the magic they found here, and they basically their whole thing is that there's so much magic sitting in just in this little base right here. You guys get the stuff in the Undermountain. We can make a utopia in our little pill capsule world.
Yeah, man.
You know
Let's
what I
do
mean?
it.
She's like we were able to make a serum that I believe will
In our blue
at
pill.
least affect with the polymorph aspect of your spell. She says it's synthesized from my blood, which is special. I'm a special type of doppelganger. So she says it should work. She says at the very least, I know it to be safe. It won't hurt you.
We thank you very
Yeah,
much
do you-
for this
do you- do you
information. We've been
consent?
searching for
Yeah.
years.
She injects you with the liquid, and when she does, you feel kind of like a fuzzy warmness, and then a swirly and you black out. And when you do, on
Push the
on
mouse's
the
little heart.
as soon as you rush over to her, she erupts into an octopus, and then you touch her again, and then she pops into a rabbit. And then she jumps off the table, and you wake up, and you are falling. And every time you fall, you tumble, and as you tumble, you turn into 10 different animals. And then you land back on a rat. You now have this Quicksilver blood. It's just your blood has changed now. It's a boon, so it can't go away. You don't have to attune to or anything. Shapeshift at the end of short or long rest. You can roll a d10 to change your physical stats to one of the animals I've put right here on this list for you. A cat, an octopus, a rabbit, a cat. Rat, octopus, rabbit, cat, fire beetle, monkey, raven, chicken, ferret, fox.
God, I hope you turn into a chicken. I'm sorry.
Fox.
I'm shooting for fox or monkey.
Yeah.
Well,
You can do it once a short rest.
That's
Just has to
great.
be the end of it.
I don't
and
think it worked.
Riff's Quicksilver blood. He also is oh, give me that. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
hit me with it.
Yeah, I want that power. Give it to me.
That's what
Is it safe?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And
This is it.
she stabs him with a needle, syringe, and he has a violent howl and rips and his skin, and he shifts. And when he shifts, he goes full werewolf.
Oh.
And so I'm sorry you're missing this, but you'll have it next time, and it's very cool, and I think you'll like it. When I'll just talk to the camera since he's probably watching, or we'll watch it later. You have lycanthropy. When you shift, you gain the following features: you're immune to piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage from non-silvered or non-magical melee attacks. You get a +1 to your AC and a +10 to your speed. So when he shifts, non-magic attacks.
Eats damage.
Yeah, she eats damage. There's a 50% chance you go feral and lose control of your character during a full moon. So every 4 sessions, I will roll to see if your character goes haywire. And
Oh
accidentally
my
kills someone.
god.
Will it be on the actual full moon cycle? Because it definitely should be.
Probably not.
It's about 4 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe if we're close enough to
Line
Yeah.
it
Do
up.
it.
You get lucky.
If you
Maybe
can help, if you
every
can help
I mean, I
remind me,
know it won't be
if you
the
help
exact
remind me
fucking
of that,
night.
yeah, I'm saying probably not because I'll forget, but if you help remind me of that, most certainly.
Right before we walk into a session, it's a full moon.
Yeah, there you go.
She
That's-
opens the door.
that's-
Nice.
Maybe that's how it should work. It should just be okay. Very cool. Let's see what else. What else? They also in the mess hall where they kind of sat you guys. They put a bunch of gear for you. So there's a refresher of like regular gear. So bags of ropes, full arrows, all the stuff you'd need to adventure. Your brother's like, this is all your stuff. Like, I got this for you and for the family. You know, I could die tomorrow, but knowing that I have these bases and all this, and he's like, I'm going to use this power. I'll use this power to set you up to become the leader that our people need. You know, I'm like our father. I am spineless. I'm a backstabber, but you're better than all of us. You're better than the rest of us.
Thank you. She's so touched.
I don't trust him.
And she gives you.
She's totally gone. She's
She
just
gives
like,
you
"My brother."
this,
you lost her. The
sorry.
softest you've ever seen her.
Yeah.
He gives you this box. This box, Chase Silver box. Well, I'll read it out. You may not be able to read my handwriting. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This is inside the box. There is a brass medallion. This medallion bears the family's logo, or crest
It's
logo.
your-
Yeah, it's your
It
brand.
is
It's your brand
Gotta say the
logo.
brand. And your family motto, which I'll let you decide all the way those things look yourself.
Yeah, yeah, your own
Um,
custom font.
While wearing this medallion, you may spend 5 lay of hand points to cast Dominate Person with a Wisdom save of DC 14, or they become dominated for 1d4 plus 1 rounds. You must be touching a creature to activate this ability.
When?
Dominate person, dude.
That was very cool.
Yeah. You just spin those.
And the rest of you guys can just be adventuring, like looting, looking for things.
I'm looking
And
at documents.
yeah, you're gonna get some stuff in your
Notes
book.
and
I'm actually
paperwork.
taking an extravagant puzzle pack.
Oh, wonderful.
Being very hobbit.
Cute of you, Cherry Cheese.
in your this very beautifully gilded bathroom, you're in Xanathar's like main chambers. You know what I mean? Like it's the only part that's nice.
You've got a back scrubber.
And it wasn't even for him. It was just for like the humanoids that he would keep around for his like
Pets,
amusement or whatever. His pets, exactly. You notice there's a little glass mirror trinket table, and there's a pipe with some pipe weed still in it, and there is some.
Don't mind if I.
And there are fine perfumes and colognes and pomades for the hair. And then in the back of the basket, there's this little tiny gold cat
I'm just
statue.
like wallowing in lavish.
And you pick up the little tiny gold
Nice,
cat
nice.
statue, and before you know it, you've spent an hour just kind of running your eyes up and down the 9 little gemstones that encrust it, like a
Precious.
constellation down the side of one of its sides. This is the feline idol of 9 lives. It requires attunement, which you just did by staring at it for an hour. This golden statue of a cat has 9 gemstones adorning it. If you hit points would ever drop to 0, you instead drop to 1 HP, and one of the gemstones is destroyed instead. Once all the gemstones are gone, the statue loses all of its magic. Roll a d8 plus 1. So roll a d8 and add 1 to it. That's how many gemstones are left on this thing.
D8 plus 1.
Good. Oh,
Ooh,
Bwah,
nice,
bwah, bwah.
nice.
What is it?
Full allotment.
yeah.
Huh?
Full allotment.
8? It's a 9.
Yeah, 9.
9. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's all the gems. There you
Full
go.
allotment.
Go.
Never been used.
You don't have to use an action. It's just that in that moment,
I just-
it just doesn't reduce you to you just narrowly.
I basically have relentless 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
All right, there you go.
Dope. Dope.
Halfling, half orc.
What were you investigating specifically? We'll walk down.
Was I supposed to roll to see what I was after all that?
No, you're
Yeah.
still a rat. You'll have to
Rat,
wait.
you're fine.
So wait
Okay.
until we'll let you do
I
that.
forgot.
You can do it.
Sorry.
You can do that if you want to.
Yeah,
Take
that's
yours.
fine.
Yeah, it's
You
up to
said rat. I just forgot.
you just can't pick yet.
Right.
But,
So with
So
Alex,
you roll for it though, right? You get a D10.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
yeah, so if you want to change, go for it.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Oops. Sorry, I'm lost.
I want to see.
Here, let's
I'm
see
probably
what she
very curious about it.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens next.
Fire beetle.
Very cool.
Come here, little beetle, and I kind of tuck you in.
Fire beetles can make
How
little.
big are
little-
fire beetles?
They're
Or you can
like
just crawl in my
I'm
hair.
picturing like this size. Like
No, they're
no, they're big.
They're
She
big.
looks like
Oh,
an
they're
ottoman.
big?
She's about the size of an ottoman, like an ottoman that you'd have a big.
I don't
Oh,
think
hell yeah.
like this big.
I thought they were like the size of like a big cat.
No,
An
they're big.
ottoman.
That's
Yeah.
damn. Well then, you just follow me around, and you look terrifying.
And they made little fireballs out of their mouth.
I imagine
That's amazing.
that sometimes
I
I'm
love it.
really
So good.
warm with you because I obviously want you to be a human again. But sometimes I probably do like a few too many like spells or like. What are you doing?
I'm waving at
Oh,
Bobby.
okay. I was thinking I probably use you a little too often as
Bobby
my
called
little
you a
lab
nerd.
rat.
Damn it.
Listen, Minerva, you are no science experiment. I have to tell you out loud so you don't think that you are. But let's make you something else. Let's try it again.
Gotta get some glasses.
I feel like that would make me
Stay with
honestly
beetle.
so depressed because
Yeah.
it's been so long since I'm a human. It'd be like
Yeah.
a big blow.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
That's true. We're both a little depressed here.
She depressedly
You're
just
right.
scuttles away as a beetle.
Oh. Minerva, we'll make it happen, I swear.
I also
swear
feel
to
like
you.
I would have to wait like maybe 10 minutes or so to find my like human voice again. It would
Right.
only be like that.
Now
animal
you're
sound.
talking
Yeah.
through beetle mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's the worst.
If it helps, you look gorgeous as a beetle.
All right, cut to Halleck, who is investigating another part of this catacomb warehouse of goodies.
I assume his prerogative would be like his arch nemesis is the Watcher, so he just saw like a bunch of eyes. Like he's just like he's just
And also, but how I need to know how he feels about this whole plan to like.
he's just gritting his teeth right now.
Plan
I
to
feel-
what?
Can he morally?
What's your alignment?
I think he's.
I am lawful, like lawful good. So like I'm trying to like make.
So this whole time he's.
Yeah.
I'm making so many
Like he
concessions
joined
right
up with
now.
us, like he morally made it okay because he's trying to find his mom or find the guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's trying to become more powerful.
I'm
to
just
find
the
his mom.
whole time I'm literally just doing this like for investigation purposes. Like I'm.
I'll let you keep saying that. It feels like you might be losing that waffle.
I know.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Feels like you might be sliding
making
out
a
of
whole
that.
lot of concessions right now for the
All
group.
right, yeah. And
So,
as
that's why I'm
as
just
you're
like
kind of,
desperately searching.
listlessly kind of looking through these hallways. You're in a part of these catacombs that have been deserted for a long time because Xanathar didn't use this for anything. You're kind of looking through. There are cobwebs that have formed curtains, and you're kind of passing through. You see a shadowy figure crisscross and break through a curtain of web, and you kind of like instinctively like bounce after it. And in the room, you go around the corner, ready to shoot,
Yeah, knock one.
and a red glint catches your eye, and you ready and you fire, and you're just about to fire the arrow, and you realize that what you're looking at is not a head. You thought you saw a head.
Oh, sorry.
You thought you saw like a head silhouette.
Don't they?
I'm not -1.
Yeah.
But what it is, it's a bust. It's like
Okay.
it's a statue of a bust, and on its neck is this gold chain with this red ruby that's carved to look like an eye, and that skin on the hair on the back of your neck stands up, thinking of the Watcher, and you don't know. You feel compelled to.
I do feel compelled to go and examine the.
Do you want to roll an investigation?
Yeah. I want to use an hero point.
Okay.
Excuse me, because that was a nat 1.
I have one for you, sir.
That was a natty.
A natty one.
At level 8, those won't exist at least one time per round.
Non nat 20.
Yeah, you're looking at it and you're like, this eye, like, it's definitely supposed to look like a demon's eye, and you would recognize that having split the head of a few demons yourself, but as you get close to it, you swear that it shifts and looks, and as you push back, like trying to get away from it, make me a dex save.
Damn. Dex save. Dex save.
Yuck. 10.
The eye, like a viper, jumps at you, at your face, and as it does, the chain splits and wraps around your head, and the eye shoves itself into your left socket, and as it does, you take 7 damage.
Hey! You're cursed now, fool. What'd you
You
grab?
evil now, motherfucker.
You're bleeding this liquid
Going to
light
metamorphosis.
that just is dripping to the floor, and as it hits the floor like a fluorescent, it just goes voids out to nothing.
Jesus, like Prometheus.
And as you kind of right yourself, the eye in the socket kind of shatters and breaks. Your skin like a Greek statue that has been snapped through years and years of being worn down.
Weathering
Did you grab?
And the eye, the demon's eye, it's called the demon's eye.
I grabbed the demon eye.
While attuned to this eye, any ranged attack versus a fiend automatically hits.
But
What?
There's a big butt here.
You evil now.
Oh!
What?
It doesn't have any butts written on it.
Ooh.
What?
You gotta fill in the blank.
Does
Does anybody have a
Fill
black
in the
light?
blank. I like it.
But
I see that. It looks like you erased something. It looks like you erased
There's some mods there.
your alignment's now roll a wisdom save.
Ooh. I'm not good at these because I'm a kid.
Not with that attitude.
Well, I'm literally it's a 10. Like my so it's a 0. I don't have a modifier. And it's 14.
You feel like a pain, sharp pain in your head, and it subsides. It's like a sensory effect. It's like you can switch to demon vision, and you can just see like hunter vision for demons. Of course, there's no demons here, so you can't see it.
I see red.
That's so metal.
nice.
But yeah, it's super metal. It's like you look like the T-1000. Or
No, yeah, that's a.
Does it move independently almost?
If a demon were
I'm
right
thinking
on
like Moody's eye, Mad
Yeah,
Moody's
yeah,
eye.
yeah.
You don't know what we're talking about. No.
Yes, no, she saw it.
I just read the book and watched the movie.
Whoa.
We had to do a hard pause on that for a minute.
I'm sorry. Great job.
Burn.
Easy.
Yeah,
Very close. We're getting what you're doing.
You
Sorry.
feel-
Sorry.
you
He
feel
referenced
the
my
need
meeting. He was
to-
like, oh, you don't know that. Oh, but I
But she
did.
didn't a week ago.
you feel a
so.
change,
I did like over a month
and
ago.
you know
Hello.
that desperate
Do you
times
think
call for
I
desperate
question
measures, and you're definitely neutral good now.
Neutral good.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do some stuff.
You don't care
You
as
can
much
do some
about
stuff.
about
Do some
holding
stuff.
the law so
I have
much as you do
some
is
elasticity.
getting it done. What are you interested in right now? What would you be doing in your downtime in this place? You don't have to be hunting treasure necessarily, but you're gonna find some. So what would she be doing?
I'm.
Tag's with you. So Tag's like, let's go look for some buried golden treasures.
Well, actually, Tag, we're gonna talk about architecture.
Oh, I love textures.
The second team is next.
I'm going home.
Next
That's it
up.
for me tonight.
That was beautiful, though. No, roll with it.
Yeah,
Make it
yeah,
go with
no,
the
it's-
texture.
Keep going.
But anyway,
This is improv. You accept.
It matters less that you're right with him, and it matters more that he think you're right. And and what's great is he always thinks you're right. So,
I train him wrong on purpose because
yeah,
it's fun.
and he rolls with it. He's like, tell me more about this. Yes. And as you're talking to him, he's like, that's very interesting, and he runs like you're describing like the buttress or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just nerding out talking about
And
the
flying
hallways.
buttresses. They
And he's like a chest, and he like pushes past you, and there's this treasure chest at the end of the hallway, and before you can say anything, he I'll just leave the table. He goes to grab the chest, and as he does, it opens up with teeth and attempts to hit him. And you strike it with your magic sword.
Your magic sword.
And when you do, you just kind of parry the attack and knock it back. And instead of the blade hitting the creature, the blade gets embedded in the creature, and it kind of winces and falls to the ground and turns into this silvery puddle. Your sword included with it.
Big yikes. I love that sword.
What sword was it?
It
was
was
a family heirloom.
it's a family heirloom.
No.
Passed down from my adopted father.
Mm-hmm.
It's a puddle now.
So I'm kind of freaking out.
Yeah, you're like, what? And he's like, what happened? Why
Did I
did that
do
box
that?
try to eat me? And
Can you even speak right
as
now?
you walk up
Just, like,
to it,
see that you're so.
as you walk up to it,
Panicking.
the puddle of liquid chrome starts to kind of wiggle
T1000.
and move towards you. As you reach towards it, it coos.
What?
Like. And
The butt.
and then as you go to touch it, it turns back into your family sword. And you now have a mimic friend, and its name is Mimic Friend.
Aww.
This silvery slime is actually a creature. You can use a command word, no action, to have the Mimic Friend become any melee weapon of your choice.
Oh!
You become proficient with that weapon, meaning that
So
you would
cool.
use your normal attack bonuses with it. You just get to change the weapon damage type, basically, and based on the situation.
So I can literally
That
have
is
it.
so
It can't
fun.
turn into bows. It can't turn into like
The
crossbows.
giant anime
Just a
great sword.
melee.
Giant hammer
But
to
if I want a
dagger.
great axe, I can have a great axe.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Sweet. Is it still a weapon of warning?
Yes. Yeah. But now it just screams.
I just scream.
Yeah.
No, like a human man.
I imagine when it screams, it's the actual like panther mouth that's on the sword.
It has a mouth. It just like long.
That's dope.
Yeah, it doesn't light up anymore.
No, it just screams.
Scream one more
Your
time.
mimic friend.
Tell us what this sword
Your mimic
sounds
friend shares HP with you.
Oh.
If you die, it dies. If the mimic friend ends its turn more than 60 feet away from you, it dies instantly.
Oh!
And you lose half of your maximum HP permanently.
Whoa! So
Oh
you have
my
to stay
God.
like really close to this dude.
Mimic friend has its own stats. Has a speed of 10 feet, an AC of 5. It has blind sight.
Just hold
it
on
can
to it,
understand
though. Yeah, don't throw
common,
your
but it
axe.
can't speak.
Well,
And
I
it
can
shares
recall
HP with you.
my sword.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep.
Cool.
Can you scream one more time?
Yeah.
I'm not a show, man. I'm not a show.
Least in your face.
So we're basically
That's
doing
my
stealth
least favorite
checking.
thing.
Is that what my sword
He
sounds
makes
like?
these tiny baby mouths. Those.
All right.
Those
He's
tiny
not-
baby
The answer
mouths.
is no. He's not gonna scream for you.
Can't even feed a
Is my sword
Cheerio.
just like making these noises as I hold it now?
It's up to you. If you want it to be.
Oh yeah!
I think tonight you just.
It's like having Morty
Yeah, that's
on
what
your
all I'm
fucking
thinking.
sword.
Oh, Rick!
You're like, you yell a command where you're like, great axe. It's like, great axe! Great axe! It always sounds like it's yelling 2 rooms over.
He's removed
It's like a
from the
baby
situation.
All the time, it's like,
He's not in here right now.
oh, this is ridiculous.
I think that you.
I'm like a serious character, and then I have Tag just screaming.
Yeah, that's true. You're like a very like cold,
Stuff
hard character
like
with
this
the most
just drives
ridiculous
me
side.
It doesn't really. I'm doing a great.
Maybe you should
I love it.
make a video edit of
Woo!
tonight's sound
The
effects.
idea of it. Dell is like
Smash cuts
mortified
to
that he
only
can't really
sound
be
effects.
sneaky anymore.
like,
but
just-
he
All right,
also thinks it's
roll
pretty
me
funny,
a
Yes.
Meryl. Roll me
Reality
D10. Now give yourself a +2. No, don't do that. Doesn't make a difference. Just roll me a D10. But you get to re-roll any one that you've already done. So
It's a 9.
No. What?
you
I'm getting a secret.
after hours and hours of studying pages of notes, you figure out a cipher, and you're able to transcribe an entire chapter into a single page.
What's a side?
A cipher is like a code that you use to help you break a code.
Sweet.
So it's like
Crack.
so a cipher would be like if A equals D, that's your cipher. So you
I figured out D.
so you figured out that
We do
this
algebra
page is
here.
called the One-Eyed Man. When you use this page and read the One-Eyed Man, you gain true sight with a range of 30 feet for 1 minute.
Whoa.
Go ahead and roll another d10.
Shit.
Hold on a second. Can I write that down?
No.
You better hurry.
You better watch out.
Oh my god.
Better watch out. You
You
better
better
watch out. You better watch
watch
out.
out.
You better watch out.
You better
That vine kills me every time.
Is Vine still a thing?
No.
Oh, I was like,
No, but
Vine kills me every
Only-
time.
I love
I
Only
love
on
that
YouTube.
Vine
that
stuff
one,
I
that
watch on
vine
YouTube.
specifically kills me
Oh,
every
okay.
time. The guy yelling, you better watch.
A one-eyed
I've been
what?
reading a lot of.
The One-Eyed Man.
Ooh.
Okay, it gives me
Yeah,
true sight for 1 minute.
To a range of 30 feet. So you can see creatures that are invisible. You could see a doppelganger its true form. You could see in the ethereal plane creatures that
Okay.
are hiding in plain sight. That kind of
Do I
stuff.
have to? I obviously have to cast it.
You have
It's
to
a
you have to
page?
read the title. I imagine you have to read the title of each one of these.
Like an incantation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The One-Eyed Man. You just be a One-Eyed Man.
The One-Eyed Man.
All right, roll another d10.
10.
You here inside Xanathar's lair find also another page. This one in a file in a scroll tube specifically titled the Undermountain. So you're looking for some information about the Undermountain. Do some Snoopy kind
There's a
of stuff.
little montage of me.
Yeah, you look through, and you find one of his pages tucked away. As this tube itself was kind of tucked out of sight, someone without a really keen eye would not have been able to find it. So someone was obviously trying to hide this in Xanathar's from Xanathar in Xanathar's own
From
building.
Xanathar?
Yeah,
Oh.
like Hallister. The page says, "I'm Hallister."
Hello?
And that's the name of the page. So you would say, "I'm Hallister" every time you want to activate this
Cool.
power. You switch locations with a willing creature you can see within 50 feet.
Cool.
I'm Hallister?
You just swap spots.
I'm Hallister.
But it has to be with someone that you...
It's like Beetlejuice.
I'm
Do Ove and Ivar still have that thing?
What name?
That I can see within
Okay.
range. Is that
Trade
the
places.
stipulation?
Within 50 feet.
Ove and
Okay.
Ivar could like trade places?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does that mean any creature?
That's
A
what
willing
D&D is.
creature?
Yeah, like one time.
Except some things you get no.
Do I just pick, like, if it's a monster, can I trade places with it?
No,
Or
a willing creature means
Okay.
someone who...
willing creature?
Yeah, so it's basically only going to be your teammates.
Sup, Trip? What up,
And
Sweet.
here are 2 secrets
My
that you
cousin
find
Trip.
about
Jimmy
the
Trip,
Undermountain.
I get the third triple.
Troop, gather round, gather round. I've read about a madhouse. The Shadow Dusks were a Waterdalian noble family whose quest for political supremacy ended centuries ago after Shadow Dusk wizards opened portals to the far realm. Twisted by madness and driven from their home, they sought assistance from Hallister and sank into the depths of the Undermountain, never to be seen again. Yet vestiges of the noble house undoubtedly remain. We'll have to visit the madhouse while we're here
Yeah,
on
there you go.
vacay.
So
Okay,
that's
what is
somewhere
this
in the
word?
Undermountain. So you got
Do I know that name?
It is a royal name, but it's like an old royal name.
Arcturiadum?
Dope.
One of Hallister's apprentices was a human transmuter named Arcturia, who created all manner of new monsters, and often made herself the subject of her own horrid magical transformations. She claimed an entire level of the Undermountain as her lair, and polymorphed prisoners into monsters to guard it. It's likely that Arcturia resides in the Undermountain still, in one form or another.
Maybe
Oh,
she could help
nice.
you.
There you go. She might certainly have that kind of abilities information.
might.
Very
Here.
cool. All right. Well, that's all. That's all the really great magic stuff you find. Otherwise, in the morning, other than that table that has all the food that just keeps coming as long as you fill up the water bowl, there are all the gear you can need. Fresh torches, so any of those kind of supplies, anything you might need to pick up, they've got in there. Just to kind of maintain where you guys bring your rations and that kind of stuff from.
Ooh, I know where I gotta go get that.
Okay,
Go
cool.
grab some water and some biscuits.
Can we take a quick fiber?
Yeah, let's take a. Let's take longer fiber. Let's take a 20-minute.
Dang, yeah, fat break.
Yeah, we'll come back at 8:50ish.
Oh, hey guys, remember.
Dang, we taking a
Suck
fat
it.
break.
Oh.
Suck it.
Fat break. And we're back. Hello.
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 Okay, so as I believe we left it, you have been given the full run of Xanathar's keep, his underground fortress, and you are getting ready to break into his private vault, which is located in the floor of his private sanctum. So there is a door that opens. The first door opens into a pit with a room that is magically lit by ever-burning flames that are blue. And it's a symbol. It's like a circle.
A circle.
It's a circle. You can like look down inside of it, but of course it's made for him as a beholder to go through. So you would have to like jump, or like it's a 30-foot drop from the floor of the room you're in to the bottom of the pit, basically. And inside this room, there's nothing but a grate, and there is what seems to be a frame or a picture or a mirror or something that's hanging from chains suspended in the middle of the room. But you can't really tell because of the way where you're kind of looking down into this hole. Exactly. So you guys will have to go into the vault. But what little Macus does know, he hasn't had enough time to sort through, and he doesn't really want to touch too deep. Give too much of the ring to himself to the ring. Having watched Lord of the Rings himself, he's very well versed in these
He
things.
knows better. We all
I saw that
watched
movie.
and learned.
He says that that it basically, instead of traditional keys, it's going to be a series of rooms, and each room is going to be suited to test a beholder of significant might. So you guys are going to have to replicate the effects of a beholder.
Oh my goodness.
To get through this lock and key. But remember, beholders can't go through this, so it's a paradox what he's describing to you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just pick the lock.
So it would, well, there might be like actual locks there. So, yeah. But it isn't just like a door. It's a series of rooms that leads back to a room that holds, the secrets, the
The Sigma Stone.
The Sigma Stone and Xanathar's
The
secrets.
Smegma Stone.
The Smegma Stone.
God.
Oh, Sayla, also,
I forgot that
your
that's
brother
one of my favorite
Macus,
words.
over wine while you guys were catching up, he talked to you about Hallister, Blackcloak, and the Undermountain, and the Chalice of Everlasting Life. He says that Hallister is said to have the chalice in his possession, and the person who drinks any liquid from the chalice will become immortal. So he says that you need to go down. Like that's what you're going to go down, clear out that Undermountain, get that chalice, and become the immortal hero that you need to become. And I will prepare your coming. I will get the people ready for you to lead them.
It sounds a little too easy the way he says it.
Bullshit.
Like
Why?
like nothing bad's
Why?
gonna happen.
Why what?
In the meantime.
Why would you do all of this?
Because you're my family.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the family?
They're all. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all. They're also here. They're also.
Nice.
Or roll one more insight on him.
Yeah.
I did create an easy bastard. 15.
My wrist.
Yeah. You don't feel any different than you felt before.
Okay, cool.
Can I roll an insight on him?
Sure, you here? Yeah, of course you're here.
I don't know.
Say it. If it concerns her, I assume that you're.
In tow.
I was hoping for a really good roll.
Earlier you said you were questioning his intentions,
Sure.
like from the get-go.
Do you want to use a hero point? Reroll?
Yeah, I'm gonna use a hero point. Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
In the
Put it in the box.
There.
Wow.
Here,
Worse
have
than
one more.
mine.
Have one of mine.
Sometimes the theory doesn't work.
Damn.
15.
You've never met this guy before, but you don't like the way she's acting around him because she's just this like fierce, stone cold killer, and you don't like her acting like a kid. I don't know. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's him.
Maybe it's him.
Baby, it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Have a hero point.
My goodness.
Well, Sayla thanks Macus.
Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, you guys do this, and I'm gonna go prep. It will take the stone. We'll have to take it down to another chamber. Basically, explains that there's a whole process, but would not bore you with boring sci-fi magic. They'll start it, and it's a ritual that will take about a week to complete. So it's not like a countdown to the moment, big climactic thing. It's a matter of like. And he's even talking about giving people a chance to leave. So he's not even interested in he's just gonna, he has a plan in motion. He's gonna go carry out while you're getting the stone for him.
Yeah, this is all starting to be a little fishy to Sayla, but she's still happy that like he's here and doing it. So I think that without even insight, I think it would make sense for her to be like, okay, Macus.
She's gonna keep riding with it.
Yeah, for now.
Maybe he's just a little off his rocker. Maybe.
She hasn't seen him in years,
Yeah,
so maybe she doesn't even know what he's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, now, yeah.
I mean, like, I think being a conquest paladin, like, the second she, like, would step away from a situation like this, she would, like, remember, it's like, wait a minute, this is my conquest. This is my thing to do, not his. Then it seems like he almost had too much control. And
well, he has assured you that or rather if you were to bring this up again, he'll always rebut it with a once you step into to power, I will step into the background.
I mean, she's
he does point out that he's older, that he shows you his scars, that and his shame. He talks a lot about your father and about how he's like your father, and he wants to he kind of end that part of the family.
Cool. Okay. But I mean,
it might come across as manipulative, honestly. The amount of like reassuring that
this guy sounds like a politician.
That he's doing. So I'm not saying those things to dismiss your feelings. Really, I'm just trying to
Role play.
Yeah.
No.
Inform the character. He's. If you're suspicious of him, that wouldn't not make sense.
Yeah.
You just kind of walk into this place.
But she's still gonna go along with it because like she's still like enamored that
we're still doing what we wanted to do here.
Yeah, for sure. Also, this is the vault. So
there's loot in there. We want to go get it.
Let's go.
So now we come back to all of you guys. We come back to all of you guys looking inside this hole. Down, camera up at your faces. Do you guys just want to jump down into it?
I'm gonna ask Rip to use his thing.
Pole.
The pole.
The Lord's
He's like, yeah, I'll let you down.
Rod
of lordly might.
I'll let you down, but I'm probably gonna
stay here.
I'm gonna stay here and keep watch.
Whatever.
Make sure Rachel doesn't show up. Rachel.
Have a hero point.
Who? Rachel.
No. Where are the other drugs going?
Why?
Oh, Batman.
Yeah,
Come on! Are you talking about Batman?
Oh, are you doing Batman?
My tongue's too big for my mouth.
Oh, yeah, Batman!
Leave her.
Batman. Of course, Batman.
Vice. He's in Vice.
I want to see that
No one
so
allowed
bad,
Academy
mostly
Awards.
because I just want to see those actors do that thing.
Topical. I'm dying inside right now. I hate that I did that. Okay.
That's why you have a hero point.
All right. Well.
Nobody's watching this.
Bye!
Yeah, everyone's signed up.
Everybody's here.
See ya!
It's fine. It is
I'm
fine.
the only viewer,
Oh, God.
and it's that computer in there.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. I'll fix that.
I'm glad you saved that for all the.
Sorry. You can go.
Okay. So yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not with a bulb. I'm gonna stay here. I'm sticking with it.
Public access.
And I'll keep watch. Make sure. I think Rift would be the most suspicious. I think that he would be the least likely to buy the story, and the most likely to have
He'd be
said,
like,
"Nah, let's kill that
"Nah,
guy."
fuck
And I think that's a nice compromise. So yeah, he does a poll, and you guys all fire poll down. What? You're still a beetle right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to change
Beetle,
that before you
baby.
go? Or do you want to keep it?
You said that was on a long or short rest.
We did that
Yeah,
already.
we've had enough time for
Okay,
another period.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to.
I'd
not be
say
that-
like
Three times a day.
Be a fire
yeah,
girl.
2 to 3 times a day would be the appropriate amount of
Okay.
About 5 times a day.
150 times.
76 times.
Are you a fire beetle again?
I'm a chicken.
Yes! Yes!
Shut up, chicken!
I am excited.
You
like
remember-
in
you remember
character.
when
in
you wanted to be a chicken?
I know.
Remember?
And that's before I didn't understand the stat
Remember?
thing.
I feel like you fall into my arms
Remember?
at this moment, and I think about how dark your innards are. I just think about how you're black through and through, and I
Dark
think that's
innards.
so dope. I think
Remember?
it's so dope.
I asked if I can hold your chicken. Then I just overcome.
While you're in
yes,
your
She
chicken,
is mad.
while you're in your chicken form,
Oh,
you,
she's
It's feather
mad.
fall, right?
I'm
yeah,
petting
you have the effects of
Minerva.
feather fall
Dope.
on you, so you never fall.
That's funny.
Each of your animals now have a thing. The fire beetle just has fire.
Cool as
so-
the other side
It's
of the
just
pillow.
But
cool.
just
That's fire.
yeah, it has a fire attack. Like
It's a fire bite.
It didn't show that.
I think he means he's gonna
He's
get
adding
it too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Does it not have that?
No, it
No,
doesn't.
Here's the.
Oh, you should fucking
A
up.
chicken?
Fucking fire beetle.
That fire beetle, I had a whole thing for it.
Should have just been like, yeah, Jake, it does a 1d12 fire damage.
Does 3D?
Oh, yeah, because they
Like
shed,
300
they
damage.
shed light. That's
400
what it is.
static
They
Yeah.
glow.
The illumination.
I think in other editions they did like fire damage. Yeah, I'm gonna say that it does an extra d6 fire damage.
Sick. You just switch back to the
Little
fire beetle.
pockets of methane that light on fire as they bite.
That's cool. Remember in that old game Baldur's Gate, you had to kill fire beetles and get their eyes so you can separate your weapons. That was the
Good old days.
that was the real deal.
All right, so she's a chicken.
We deserve this.
She is most certainly a chicken.
I can't speak like a human right now. You
You've
guys.
been
Only
through
chicken
so much,
10 minutes,
I
is
know.
that right?
Yeah,
10
I
minutes.
said I thought that would be a funny quirk about it. Is like takes
When
me a
you're a
while to
chicken?
find my. No, it just says any animal transformation. It takes me a while to like find my human voice
Yeah.
because it's a new form and
Right.
it's
It
weird.
hasn't
and-
happened
I
yet.
love how you
Yeah.
always nerf yourself.
She's a good player that way.
She's
Very
good that way.
Uh-huh.
She's a good
She's
player.
very good that way.
Okay, so in the room, you
then
guys
she
all
gets in
down there.
combat.
She floats to the ground.
Fucking
You all
cannon.
slide down the pole. It's like, help me right here if you guys need me.
Can you leave the pole?
I'll just leave it here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
But
Caleb.
you can't take it. I'll just leave it here though.
We don't want it. Thank you.
Don't take it.
I've got a mace.
It's a mace too.
We're,
Have I
we're-
shown you?
We're walking
Have I
away.
shown you that it's a fire mace?
Hold on, check this out, guys.
He's just playing with it.
You're playing with your lordly
He's like,
might.
ah.
He's always shifting the shape of that thing.
Quit playing with your lordly might.
Kalen's lordly mind.
Kalen's slowly might.
Just be bopping it around.
So when you guys get
It's
into this
upsetting.
space, the floor is sand, and there is a grate in the floor, and the floor is sand. And there is there's a mirror hanging in the center of the room. It is round and ornate. It has some sort of wood, dark wood that's been carved into different shapes around it. In the motif of eyes and beholders. And as you look through this mirror that's suspended by chain, on the other side of it is your reflections, and also behind you in the reflection is that of Xanathar. He is only present in the reflection, of course,
Himself?
but
The Xanathar or
Yeah, like what did he mean, Xanathar?
Beholder?
I mean there is a beholder
Oh.
that is in the reflection, and as you all walk up, it says, "Who are you?"
Leaving?
did we have like a group name?
This group's the Gravehearts. That's what I named you, because
I like
you guys never do that.
We'll never do that.
I just
We're the Gravehearts, I
Yeah.
say.
You seek the treasure of the Xanathar.
We seek all.
I'm still gonna spend most of the morning and afternoon. That's okay.
If you want to go to the next room, you must answer these riddles.
There we go.
He laughs. His eyes go everywhere.
I knew it!
Your reflections in the mirror, he like blows them up with his eye beams. And now you no longer have reflections
Very
in the
cool.
mirror world. And he gets close and he starts
I didn't
like
like this idea.
he's a much more. I think that he was really weird actually when you guys fought him.
Yeah, he was.
I like Behold.
He was like, "Let me kiss you with my little mouth."
Oh.
He was saying dumb
He probably did. He's
Bunch of dumb
I was like. Like that cringe face? What is the one where you're like, he's creepy.
All right, here's my first
He has a
riddle.
van.
Yeah.
My first riddle, heroes. What is it that you keep on you when you need it not, but throw it out when you need it?
An opinion.
Good answer, but wrong.
Okay.
You fail. Next question.
Do we die?
Oh,
Woof.
metagame. Can I know the answer though?
Do you know the answer?
No, I said can I know the answer?
You want to try to answer? Do you?
Do we get tries?
I thought we just
The
made up an
strikes.
I
answer.
just
and you
really
gave
like
us the-
riddles.
You were like, yep.
Will you repeat it? You said you hold
Usually
it. when
that's
you
how
don't
it
need
works.
and Throw
When
it
you
out.
need it, you don't have it.
When you need it, you carry it. When you use it, you throw it out. What am I?
when you don't need it, you carry it.
I'm
When you
so
use
bad
it,
at
you throw it out.
We're all really bad at riddles.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I was
Say it
literally
again.
talking about this in the car the other day. How bad I am at riddles.
Says-
When you use it, you carry it.
D&D riddles are the
When you
bane.
need
Wait,
it,
no,
you
when you what do you? I'll have to find it. I lost it. I scrolled away
Oh,
from it.
very.
When you don't need it, you carry it. When you need it, you throw it out.
When it's not in use, you keep it on you, but when it's in use, you throw it out. What am I? You've answered once, right? Said no.
What do you throw out?
I've heard this one before and I can't remember what it is.
I hate riddles. The trash. You don't keep trash on you.
Wrong answer.
I'm speaking out loud.
That's
I
the
didn't-
wrong answer as well.
I didn't-
Everyone, make a con
I
save.
didn't submit
Yell.
the answer.
As tendrils come out of the sand and wrap around your legs and start.
16.
18.
16.
7.
24.
I rolled a nat 1.
No.
Fail.
Ugh.
You rolled a nat 1?
I rolled a nat 1.
Well, damn. Why
Sorry.
would you do that?
Why would you do that?
It was just natural.
Why?
It was just
Why
natural.
would you do that to yourself?
I did it naturally.
On
Oh.
a fail,
Sabotage.
on a save, you take half. Even if you have evasion, because it's wrapped around your little ankles.
On a save, you take half.
On a save, you take half. On a fail,
Even
Ouch.
if I have
you
them.
take all of it.
Ouch.
How much damage?
How much?
Hold
Ouch.
on, little babies.
But.
How many times do I yell ouch?
But.
Minerva, are you okay?
26
baby
damage,
chicken.
so 13.
26 ouches.
26?
Yeah, and then the
I need a
tentacles
calculator.
disappear. They go
Oh,
back
no.
into the
13
sand.
damage.
All right, next riddle. If you want to keep going, you dum dums.
God.
Jeez.
No.
Now he's calling us names too.
You dummy dums.
Says.
You're
Are
a
we
bunch
still-
of dumb heroes. I'll eat you. I'll eat your brains.
Says the whole-
My body is thin and slender, and I grow shorter every day. You can use my single purpose, and I'll be sure to show the way.
Not.
When I am placed upon a pastry, then my life is soon to fade. What am I?
Say it again, please.
My body is thin and slender. I grow shorter every day.
Candle.
That's correct.
Kazinga, my
Next
friend.
question. I hear a point, by the way.
Yeah,
Fwam.
Riddle master.
Very good. Thank you, Savannah.
A face I do have, but see, I do not. Closes all of his eyes. When thy see my hands, they oft ponder
Clock.
in thought. A watch, but I'll accept it.
Timepiece.
Next question.
Why my first story?
Grandfather clock. What is a grandfather clock?
All right, you've answered enough riddles. I don't really care about riddles. I'm just lonely.
I'm just lonely.
Did
Stay
you have
here
to
and talk
shock
to me
us?
for a while?
Everybody roll a persuasion.
Nat 20. Yes, girl.
There it is.
What do you
Nat
say
20.
to what do you say to this?
What are we just trying to leave?
It's just like you. In my head, I see you guys answering these questions and doing this thing, and it's not yielding anything. And when you don't answer right, he's trying to. It's clear that answering riddles is not what this thing wants. So maybe another tactic might prove fruitful.
23.
I'm gonna compliment his lovely tentacles.
That's perfect.
It's like, I don't know why you're lonely. You're such a beautiful tentacled beast.
Oh, you don't know the half of it.
If I could stay here forever with you, I would.
Eat you up.
Perhaps I'll come back later.
Bowl of
Well, why don't
spaghetti.
you come on in then? And when he says that, the mirror cracks and it falls out, and a portal opens that you guys can walk through into another room. And he's not there. It was just.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So.
I just be like,
Good
no,
job, Savannah.
Good job, Savannah.
To
Take
roll,
notes.
roll me a nature.
Yeah.
everybody.
Tag, were you
Roll me a nature or investigation. If you have either of those skills, you may roll.
My passive
Wait.
investigation is a
I have
19,
neither of those.
and that's my best.
Okay.
24.
Okay. Enough of you have rolled, and yeah, the 19's good. Remember, Mac has said that you would have to use the traits of a beholder. Beholders have 10 eye stalks. Each eye stalk corresponds to a different effect.
Shit.
This room involved charming.
Shit.
So, that's your hint.
Okay. Yep.
And with that, the door opens, and the portal opens, and you guys step through into the next space. And in this space, there is a metal door. It is sized for a human, although it's very large. It has a keyhole, and there is a key that is suspended in the middle of the air. In this room looks very large. It's just dark, but it seems like maybe it's a big open space. But you can see this key is suspended in the air, and as soon as you guys walk into the room, roll a perception. You have
19.
God damn it. You
You,
guys,
18.
you keep saying that
I
you're
keep
not going
doing
to
that.
do
I'm
that
not gonna do
anymore.
that.
18 perception.
yeah, you walk in. The first thing you notice are eyes. Lots and lots of little sets of eyes. The ground is covered in bush and rocks. All the bush and rocks seem to have looked up, and underneath them, there are little sets of orbs that are kind of looking around. Think like groundhogs or meerkats. Everything, all the tundra has like got up and looks around.
I'm also thinking of that scene in Snow White when there's just like black and then like eyes that like pop out of the woods, you know?
It is kind of cartoony like that, but they're just like these reflections of these orbs that you can see.
I feel like I'd really be fighting the urge to peck one of these eyeballs.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, and so you go up to it, and you're like, I don't want to, but and as soon as you do, everything, all the ground, the bushes and the rocks and the flowers, all the little clumps of land start running. They all jump up, and they have little legs underneath.
What?
And they all start running, and as they do, they turn invisible, and you see the key gets snatched away, and now the key is just moving through the room super fast. And as you guys walk through the space, invisible creatures are just pelting you as you go through here. And so these creatures are flying through the room. Yeah, it's Harry Potter.
It is.
I
exactly.
swipe a page out of my coat pocket and I say,
Roll dex save.
You get smacked in the head with a rock.
Out the hand.
not nat 20.
Ooh.
Wait.
Nat 20.
Oh!
What page were you pulling out?
I was pulling out, I'm Hallister.
Not anymore. It's in the air.
Oh, the best
Now I'm just
Dust.
chasing it. No, I'm just
Dust.
chasing it.
All
Are
right.
these
I'm gonna try to like
beasts?
make them to the wall or something.
They're moving so fast that you can tell that you can, first of all, you can't see them, so you'd be rolling with disadvantage.
Okay.
And the speed at which things are moving is supernatural. So like a lot of targeted spells are going to be less effective.
What type of monster can you tell us?
Roll a you have nature.
No.
Roll an intelligence check for me.
No. You can roll another check. Do you have a hero point?
I do.
I mean, it's just a check, but still, yeah. Roll that again. Yeah, I was gonna say I have one if you want one.
More riddles.
Intelligence. 23.
Yes.
You have never seen these creatures before, but they are
23?
they're some sort of you know for certain that you know.
I'm just saying that's crazy.
They are certainly some sort of fey creatures. And you know fey creatures to be
Fucking
mischievous and
Goddamn pixies.
wily.
Cool.
So,
And pixies? Just wonder if command or
Can I?
would work.
I want to use divine sense.
probably not.
Okay.
Charming spells will not work.
They don't
on
work
these
on.
things.
They don't work on pixies. They're like
I'm gonna
fey
use
creatures.
divine
that
sense,
are
which
cannot
shows
be
me the
charmed.
locations
Oh,
of
yeah.
fey, fiends, or
Okay.
celestials, so
Sure.
I can try and pinpoint the one that has the key.
Okay. Yeah. So you use the sense, and the room lights up, and you can see like their silhouettes, kind of like a reflection of light, kind of pouring off of them. And it's like a hive. You can see them all moving through there. You can avoid being hit by them, and you can direct the others when they're kind of like hurling by. With that divine sense, you're a little more control. But they're still kind of like they're moving. It's like the Flash, that kind of speed. It's like you go to react, and before you
already
react,
gone.
it's like they have a haste effect or something on them. Is what you might surmise. They're moving.
Alcio key.
Akio.
Alcio.
I'm
Cheese.
gonna try darkness.
Cheese is spelled.
Okay.
Akio.
You cast
I
darkness,
still have 4
um,
zombies.
and it is very dark.
We've been following this like
I
a mile
can still see
behind
Yeah,
us.
you can still see there. What you see is that the key is not entering the darkness. That it's just staying up in the area because it's like a 20-foot bubble, and above that where the roof is, there's still light.
Sounds like really
So they just congregate up where the light is.
Above it.
Yeah.
Yo.
But you effectively have repelled them, so they're
Here,
not like
Todd.
down in your space anymore.
Okay.
They're
Not
not
attacking
pelting
us
you.
anymore.
Yeah.
You should just fireball them. Actually, don't do that. It'll ruin our page. And the key.
Well, do you guys want to roll an investigation?
Wait. Think.
That would've been
What
horrible.
aspect of a beholder is
Yeah,
this?
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Think what would a beholder have? What could a beholder use? Is maybe a better way to solve this problem.
Laser eye death beams.
But which one? They had confuse. Is this confuse? Confusion? No.
If something's moving very fast.
Oh, haste or no?
Expeditious retreat.
Let's just roll an investigation. Let's just,
Invisibility.
you guys don't actually have to figure it out. Your character can figure it out for you.
Oh, well, not this one. 8.
My passive is a 19.
I know, but go ahead and roll because
Okay.
your passive isn't good enough.
Well, I didn't roll as good as my passive.
Well, then your passive is good enough. But I was seeing if you could roll more.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Just an investigation.
Yeah.
21.
Okay.
4.
Okay.
Not 20.
I don't have investigation.
Oh, you can roll an intelligence though.
Okay, then it would be 23.
You still wouldn't have 17 in it. That's good.
19 over there. Yeah, this is probably the trick would be stopping those creatures from moving. As soon as you stop one, another one's going to grab the key and run. So you need to stun them or paralyze them in order to get the key from them. But also, a fireball would be effective as well.
Sure.
It isn't like you have to solve these puzzles like in a certain way for them to work. You just have to get the key to open the door.
Okay.
So if you can get the key, get the key. I think that's the biggest thing is that the real answer is that if this place wasn't reinforced a certain way, a beholder would just use a disintegrate beam to just like go through everything. So there's magical reinforcements at work here and some trickery. But
If you
honestly,
fireball it, you may mess up her page. Though.
I honestly am kind of cool. Like we could.
That's okay.
I had pictured us doing this whole vault in more of like a montagey kind of way, as opposed to like going room by room. Because now that you know the theme of it, it's more like when we just make checks and like get us there, versus. Well, and it's up to you guys. It's 9:26 right now. Do we want to play through this dungeon again next time, or do we get back to the big dungeon? Because as I see it, this is a fun one shot. So why don't we just do these rooms as challenges? I have a scene for the last one.
Yeah.
That's.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
That's fine.
So as we go through, I would argue that even with hers, that just her passive score, most of these places you guys could walk through and figure out what the room is, and I would say that they're kind of cheesy. Like I think that like as a rule, like
I like that the Xanathars are very like, or beholders are very like smarmy kind of,
and he thinks he's so clever, and so like there's a floor, like the floor is lava in one space.
It's like I walk
but
into
he can float
like
over everything.
an escape
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. It's like and Xanathar is, if anything, he has a neck beard. He doesn't have a neck, but.
Of course.
And as you go through the rooms, there are different challenges, and we see you having to frighten a room full of children.
Easy.
That's awesome.
There is a race that is underwater that you guys have to do.
Oh, dude, you can swim really fast.
But you're running.
Oh.
And it just kind of goes through, and then like you're the best. There's a sleep room where you guys literally just have to get from one side of the room to the other without falling asleep.
Yeah.
And every time you guys fall asleep, she just check and peck you.
Because like the holders don't sleep, right, or something like that. Holders don't sleep, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, look what I
Impressive.
found.
And you guys make your way all through the rooms.
Oh shit! It's a nat 1.
Go ahead and have a hero point for having fun. Oh my god! All right, never mind.
You threw it off my chest.
I'm kidding. Everybody have a hero point for this. Let's get through that fun
No.
montage.
History
repeats itself.
I felt it.
You're the best.
No.
Okay.
So the last, you having barely escaped the disintegration room, where matter is being constantly created and like expanding. So it's like an empty room, and you have to run to the other side, and like rock is just forming. So you need a disintegration beam.
You said no.
You guys just managed to barely get through there, all scraped up. So you guys started all polished and shiny, and you kind of look about what you did when you showed up.
My dress is
I've
ripped
got low HP now.
all over.
Nobody has mending.
We have those little like tiny like little hash marks on our
Yeah,
faces.
for sure.
So,
Yeah, those little X's.
You guys
At
find
least we don't have
yourself
X's on our eyes, am I right?
walking down a tunnel that opens up through a metal archway that's built into the stone, opening up into a Colosseum-sized space, well lit, with magic orbs that seem to kind of haphazardly float and decorate the space, creating kind of a downward shadow effect. There is a pile of bones in the center of the room, and on the top of this pile there is a large skull with a single eye socket.
I think it's a smuggler's thing.
And behind it is a small alcove with a curtain, a velvet curtain that is ripped and tattered, and you see a very small box behind it.
I feel like I want to go peck at those bones, you guys.
And the moment that she flutters down, not even
No, no.
120 feet away from
At
this
the
thing,
little gristly bits, you know?
The-
Yeah, good stuff.
the skull kind of shudders in its space, and glowing orbs of light light up around it, and like a ghostly beholder, the Death Tyrant floats up.
I jumped down in too.
And yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. No, you jump down and you're like, no, get back.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go like grab.
Do you guys also
the
jump
chicken.
down? So you kind of have to, like you said, it's like a 15-foot drop. So it's
Yeah.
like you jump into the
Oh, yeah.
space, and as the last of you jump down, the wall, it's gonna close up behind you.
Boss fight!
Yep.
And it says something cliche like, "Who dares?" No.
Who dares enter my
Disturb my shell.
It does say like, "Who disturbs the son of Zara?" That's what it said.
And he coughs.
Sorry.
That's not my boy.
Who dares disturb the son of what's his fucking name? I've said it so many times. Xanatar, yeah, it sounds wrong now.
Xanatar?
Son of Xanatar, yeah. So this is son of Xanatar. That's who this character is.
Oh my god.
And it floats up and it's just kind of like, as it's speaking, in almost like a reverse motion effect, bits of matter are like floating up to its bottom of it, and it's this inky like flesh is kind of growing back over it. So it has more of a like a zombie look and more of a personality. So I wanted to be able to, you can see it like furrowing its eyebrow and stuff. It's hard to make a skull very expressive because it's just like yeah, the eyebrows always help. So
Never underestimate.
you seek the secrets of Xanathar.
We did. Oh, sorry. Yes, we do.
You're sorry.
You apologize so much.
He sends fools for emissaries. You shall not have my secrets.
Then I shall take them.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Roll your initiative.
Sorry, guys. Let's get a fight.
Do you want us to just turn around?
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
That was short.
Shirt.
Oh well. Let's go home, guys.
That's right. Let's turn around. He's really intimidating. I think we should leave. Ooh, nice.
Well,
Nice.
That makes sense.
The death
Go get him,
tyrant will
Tiger.
be the little mouth. Blah, 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 blah. And no.
Oh my gosh.
And this will be the lair.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, everybody just said. Aww.
As a group, we're all
Flank?
Okay, loading.
Flank. I rolled a nat 20.
By the way.
I don't care what you're doing. I rolled a nat 20.
So did he.
No.
Whose dex is higher?
Probably the Xanatar. The Death Tyrant.
Don't you have a 20?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like a...
I doubt it.
Alright, so
Just
you guys
legendary.
first. What'd you roll, Kara?
19.
What'd you roll, Meryl?
Nice.
What'd you roll, Sayla?
15.
What'd you roll, Hawk?
10.
Also 10. My dex is 10.
Why does this keep happening? I feel like
I
this
do
happens to us
every
all
time.
the time.
Dex is 10.
You won.
Who wants to go first?
How's your dex?
What? No, you're dead. 10 not.
My dex?
I hate
My
you.
dex is not.
His dex is 14. He wins.
Okay.
He gave it to you last time that exact same way.
No.
Because
I don't
your
think I
dex is
explained
higher.
that.
You can let her go first.
Technically, my dex was higher last time, so play with my humans.
Boom!
Oh, to Kiki?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to
With
have
it.
You had human stats as a kid?
No, I guess I didn't last time as the rat. I used my rat stats, so.
Rat stats.
Rat stats.
Okay.
Stats.
Rat stats.
Well, Del, you're so quicky.
Why?
You're so quick. What do you do?
Hasty boy.
Yeah. What do you do, hasty boy?
He
Don't
floats.
set a trap.
Yeah, he floats.
Loot the bodies.
I looked above the body.
And throw a bear trap at him.
It's not a bad idea. I just sprint around to the back and go grab that box.
Loot the body.
There you go.
I loot the body!
Hashtag I loot the body. 2019.
I loot the body.
JK Puck.
What are you doing?
He just like shrugs.
Run
I
around,
loot the body.
Go grab that box.
He is about this is a huge space, so
Oh.
he's about 120 feet away from you, and it's about 120 feet behind him.
Very cool. Just stretching over.
Okay, so what's your speed? Let's figure out how far you can go. And are you going to try to go in a straight line, like through his space, or are you going to try to go a long way?
I'm just gonna go straight. Dash, action, dash, bonus action,
Dash.
dash.
Yeah, so what's your speed? You can do it 3 times.
75. 25.
Yeah,
Three
so,
times.
75. So in 2 turns, you can get up to him. In 4 turns, you can get all the way to the other side of the room.
Jeez.
Maybe you should not do that.
Just be like right next to him.
Should get his personal space.
It's just like, it's a huge space. So it's this Coliseum size space.
He did say
Why is
Coliseum.
it so big?
He did say Coliseum.
So that if your plan is to dash past him, you have to run the length of a football field to do it. For exactly that reason.
Is there anything I can hide?
There is debris, there are like dead bodies and things like of that nature scattered around, some rocks and some cave-ins, so I would say there are places where you can duck and hide, but not in like a
hide sense.
not like a quick way, not to help with your narrative of running across the way. That's gonna be pretty much a
No, I mean, he's just gonna like see me like
yeah,
sprint
yeah.
and then duck
but
behind
where-
the bush.
But from where you're at right now, there are a few boulders not 25 feet away from you. You can easily get behind and hide. If that's your inclination, that's easy. Yeah, this place is old,
Here's what I'm
and you
gonna
can tell that multiple groups have tried to break in here before and do this and have died.
I'm gonna go to the nearest boulder and hide check it.
In Colorado.
Yeah, hide check in Colorado.
Gotcha. Sorry, go
In
ahead.
the safe house.
I regret that one too.
Hey babe, Max has a crazy dirt face right now.
Oh, what a dirt.
This is hanging
That's so cute.
21.
To hide from the beholder of doom. You want to hide from me?
I'm assuming he has like true sight since it's blind. You know.
Do you have leftover?
Probably.
Jason? Do you want me to try? You don't want to. Sorry. What did you roll?
Holy
21.
shit. Doesn't matter. I rolled nat 20. He says that you dare to hide from me. And
It's what I do.
what do you do with the rest of your turn?
Ready crossbow shot if he attacks Sayla.
Okay. Are you taking cover behind the rock still?
I'm at least taking cover.
Yeah,
I might
so
punch
you
him.
have total cover
Yeah.
from it, but he saw you go behind the rock.
I sprinted through the open field.
At the end of your turn, he is going to fire a
That always happens. I go first.
roll
they go
D
second.
roll D10.
And I get hit by
Fucking
Dex
Ray,
save,
man.
right?
Yeah.
What is it? D10.
But you gotta leave the
Makes
body.
you roll the die. That's mean.
I did. What does it mean? Can I at least use your D10? What's that?
10.
You sure?
That's
Yes.
0. There's a 10 right here on the side.
No, that's
Or
1.
you- wait, what
because
did-
if it's
I
a
didn't say that.
percent die.
Yeah, that's a 0. That's a 1, and that's a 10.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Gotcha.
10.
I'm going to give you advantage because you're ducking behind the rock right as he's like, you're trying to hide from me. But roll a dex save as you dodge from this necrotic beam he
This
fires at.
Dex save death ray with Xanathar.
Yes.
Whoa, thank God.
With advantage or disadvantage?
With advantage because you're diving behind that rock.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Okay, cool. Roll a d4. 2. Okay, cool.
Yeah. What's that mean?
You just threw a lot of numbers
Means
out
I
there.
have to get so many dice. I'm not doing that. Come here, calculator. Come here, dice calculator. It'll be silent and scary.
I have evasion, and the other one that actually gives me no damage where I would take half damage, which I think is evasion.
Okay.
So if
Yeah, you
that's
do have
a thing.
evasion. Yeah. Okay, then you will avoid being hit by this beam at all. Just barely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beam the beam of necrotic energy just tears through, like pushes through the rock. Like doesn't even affect it.
Yeah.
It
So
just
I like
it
dodge it
would-
after it goes through.
like it continues to follow you through the rock. The rock almost doesn't seem to affect it. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
It is now the layer's turn. Or rather, the layer has an effect.
You what?
That was a death ray.
He just keeps repeating.
Oh no, yeah. What was the dex save death rate?
He's panicking. It's a death ray.
But I've got 9
Brayman's
lives.
face says it all.
After you're like you dodge and you like get behind the rock and you're like, oh good, this disembodied spectral eye pops up right in front of you.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's what happens.
This is the one
Roll
that
me-
kills.
roll me a
This is the
D10.
one that- This is exactly what happened.
Did you say D20?
D10.
6.
All right. Make me a strength saving throw.
Oh.
Type. 7.
You were like doing math.
So the eyeball, you're like your back's up against this boulder, and you're like, oh, whew, and this eye just like opens up in front of you. And you're like, shit, and it's just a telekinesis beam, and it just smacks you, and it pushes you through the rock, like kind of like
Damn.
destroying this boulder as you get pushed through it.
Put through a boulder.
That's fair.
You got mind
And
punched
then
through a boulder.
you're gonna fly 30 feet
Jesus!
Oh my goodness.
towards the
Towards the loot.
towards the death.
Towards the loot. he says towards the
I
loot.
love how everything
Fucking kill him,
everything
Jake.
is relative.
Let's kill
I'm
this
just saying, he's
guy.
gonna have to kill me 9 times.
I didn't forget about that.
That's why Jake does. Yeah. Oh my god.
He's just gonna eat all of
Dude,
these.
I'm
No,
doing
you
it
eat 'em
tonight.
up. That's what Xanathar
Tonight,
said.
not for us.
Relax.
This is like, this is my night. I'm gonna kill you as
It
much
lasts
as
for
I
10
want.
hours.
That's why Jay gave it to him.
I'm
It was
making my
like,
punching bag.
That's all you, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of which, you're gonna take 17 damage.
Hey, how much do you get to use magic items? That's great.
8 hours.
No,
8
that's
hours.
a lot of damage.
oh my goodness.
And you hit through the rock and you fall and you skid, and as you like a stone, you're like
yeah,
flying.
skirt.
Before you hit the second time, the telekinetic ray grabs you, and you're like, and you're restrained, and now you're kind of like floating in space. So you'll have to use an action to
Wriggle out of that.
to get out of that next turn.
An action or a fast hands action?
I'll let you use your fast hands on that.
That's a good purpose. He's got just.
That was a nice persuasion. He's gonna kill me for sure.
The Death Tyrant now gets to take his turn.
That's why you were like.
The first thing was a reaction.
Huh?
The first one was a reaction.
The first one was a legendary action. The second one was a layer action. That was him. The layer made that attack.
Oh no, yeah.
That was
I
his
knew the
fucking
eyeball
turn.
was the layer.
Yeah, and
You're gonna
now
die.
he's gonna make
Oh, no.
his
You have to
attacks.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yes.
I got 9
He's
left.
gonna die a lot of times. That's the thing. He's just gonna die.
Okay, how many? There are 6 of us.
Mhm.
Cool. Tara, roll a d6.
Jimmy's
Savannah,
gonna-
roll a d6.
Jimmy's gonna die.
3.
Alec, roll a d6.
4.
Roll D6.
3, 4,
Oh no.
5. 3, 4, 5.
I'm failing a deck save. If there's a deck save,
Roll
happening.
a d10. Roll d10. Roll d10. And we're just gonna work our way down the lines. 7.
Did you all roll 7?
Yeah.
You did. That's so.
You
weird.
all rolled 7s.
That's
Awesome.
so fucking weird.
3 of the beams like spin in space because remember they're not like attached to tentacles. They're just like glowing orbs that represent the eyes. So it's the skull with these glowing orbs kind of floating around it that are where the eyes were. And they kind of spin around, and when they do, they fire this beam that encompasses all 3 of you. Make me a wisdom saving throw, lest you be sweepy.
Oh no.
Can I get a con?
Can I really get contact?
No, wham. Hey, are you close to me, Alec, right now?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are right next
You
to
get a
each other.
+5
Tight.
to your save.
Tight. I rolled an at 19.
15.
Wisdom save. It's a lot. It's 30. Yeah.
24.
You are asleep if you fail. If not, you are fine. you wake up if you take any damage, or if another creature wakes you. So as soon as you take damage, you'll wake back up.
So I'm just like floating. I can't. Right.
Yeah, you can't take your action to be unrestrained until you wake up.
Right.
Okay, that's all of his turns. And he kind of hovers. He's a good like 20, 30 feet off the ground. He's humongous. He's a giant skull. He's as big as this room.
Yeah, beholders are really scary.
All right, Kara. Win.
Well,
Win the game.
Do some winning.
I don't know what a death.
so
is like, but,
so he's
uh,
floating,
I read,
right?
I read
You
mine.
said.
It was just I think they're.
He's
I
floating up
think
there.
He's floating up there.
Which is good. because
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Well.
smack the shit out of this thing.
They should be on bed.
So, yeah. So,
Come on.
just shoot the fuck out of it.
Elbow on me on your way by.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't get to it anyway. I'm not on my turn.
Here's a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that wiki page up, would you?
Nah, baby.
You mean in the tab next to it?
Nah, Yeah, I was gonna
say, take that tab next to it.
Nah, man, not me.
I'm not that guy.
Oh, sorry. Well,
You're mistaking me for someone else.
You got me all wrong.
You've got me very wrong, friend.
I want to witch bolt him. I guess.
Do it.
We'll just go with that.
baby.
We'll witch bolt his ass.
Everybody should witch bolt. Witch bolt. This bolt.
19 to hit? I don't remember if I rolled it on that one. I don't remember.
19 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There's that.
What kind of damage does witch bolt do? Radiant?
I think it is electricity. Lightning.
That's pretty cool.
Too good.
I used to go to high school with a guy who all the time.
That's fun.
Well, that's.
I hate that guy.
2.
If you're watching,
2
hey bud,
damage.
good to see you.
How much?
2 damage.
Ow!
I hate you.
Okay, well the witch bolt, remember, is concentration, so as long as you don't do anything else, every turn you can just deal damage. You don't have to make any more attack rolls.
Very cool.
So it's just like you can just attack it. But as soon as you do anything else, that spell ends.
Yeah.
So he takes the 2 damage and he laughs at you. Feeble.
Insulted.
Humans!
Humans are so weak
And delicious.
And tiny.
Okay. At the end of your turn, he is going to
Zap.
roll a d10.
Oh, shoot, zap, zap.
Zerp. Zerp zap.
Zero,
That's
zap.
my
Is little-
1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should specify the. Well, you know what? We should probably put a board because the Death Tyrant has a negative eye cone. He has this negative energy cone. So we need to know which way he's looking and where you guys are. So
Okay.
let's set up the board real quick.
Sit there.
But we can do your charm effect and we can figure this all out. What did you roll?
1.
1. Charm. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
13.
You are charmed by the Death Tyrant for 1 hour.
Oh wait,
Shit.
actually, I'm sorry. I have advantage on charm saves.
Well, then do it.
Still the same though.
You're charmed, for 1 hour until the Death Tyrant harms you. In which case, it automatically ends. You can't make any saves or anything. You just are that way. Being charmed means that you are inclined to want to help it. You're not controlled by it. It hasn't dominated you. You still have your will. You wouldn't want to hurt your friends. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to hurt it.
No.
So my concentration spell is ruined.
Is done.
Yeah.
For sure. You're like, oh God, what have I been doing? I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
My bad.
Oops.
Whoops.
Oh no.
All right. All right, Sayla.
I am going to see what just happened to Kara, and I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on her.
Cool. When he does that, the effect ends. You are no longer charmed.
Nice.
And I'm gonna go up, move out to Del. Do I have enough? I think I have enough movement to get out to him. I'm 30 feet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I use my bonus action to shake him, like just poke him, not try and get him loose, but wake him up?
Yeah, you can definitely like move him, but you can't move him out of the
For sure.
beam.
I'm just gonna shake him awake.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I'm gonna shake him awake, and that's my action economy. I take my defensive stance.
It's way bigger than this room, but we'll just use this for the sake of the grid.
Can I put my book on my phone?
Yeah, please do. Ah! This guy.
Oh, Sammy just came over to lay with Max.
I'm not next to you. I just woke you up.
He was like, never mind.
He's like, you thought.
He's about
I love that.
30
Pretty
feet
friend.
in the air. The beholder, yeah, he's dope.
Mm-hmm.
This little beholder's cool. Beholder.
Get right in the camera.
That's all I had.
A rat. A chicken.
Chicken rat.
Chicken rat. Like,
Already.
Okay.
My turn's over. I already did my stuff.
You shook him, so you're awake now.
Woo!
At the end of your turn, he sees you messing with the guy that he knocked to sleep, and he's upset. Roll a d10.
Tight. Sorry if you die.
This is just what Sailor would do.
I'm keeping it fair by letting you guys roll the things.
That's fair. I think
4.
it's to me.
That's fair. You said 4.
Why do we keep fighting Xanathar?
I don't know. This is a bad recurring nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you're fighting Son of Xanathar.
I know, but it's still Xanathar.
Like I still feel the unsettled like desperation.
Dex
Like,
save.
Dex save?
Uh-huh.
It's the worst
Oh.
save.
Wow.
Nat 20.
Nice. Roll a d4.
And he shoots himself.
1.
Yeah, you feel the heat of this beam. It's like a warm heat, like a slowing.
as opposed to like a cold heat.
Well, it's
Like
like
a
a
warm
burning
stream
heat.
of
It's a warmness as opposed to a burn, and a molassesness slowing you down, and you're able to like resist it and like jump out of the beam just in time. But okay, so that didn't do anything.
No.
All right, Meryl.
What is this pink? What is this thing? Right here.
It's a rug. Ignore everything on that map.
Cool.
That's just a
It's
rug.
like a red carpet.
I'm gonna just come up within like 30 feet of it, and I'd like to cast Blight.
Okay, we move her closer.
Does the chicken ride her?
Chicken's like.
Beast.
Chicken is literally playing chicken. Like I'm trying to be deceiving as not a
Oh, it's just
humanoid.
being a
that's not-
chicken?
I'm trying
You have
to
to make
play
it
Not
as
not,
a
not
chicken.
getting in your Cadillac and driving at each other down a corridor.
Right. I'm just like I'm kind of slowly kind of
Playing
walking
chicken.
around the
Get it?
corners of the room
You get
or
it,
to
guys?
the wall. Bark.
Chicken is when you drive in a
You
car
have to make a
towards each
con
other.
save.
Oh yeah, sorry. It
I'm
just
just
didn't.
kidding. I was mansplaining.
Yeah, right.
You can get the hell
I was
out
over-
of here
I
with
was
that.
mansplaining my mansplanation.
So right now, all three of you are. All of you.
Or in the code.
Where's
in the
Where's
code.
Kara? Where are you?
Oh, I
in
don't have
Halleck. Yeah. Good
I'll
stuff.
just put.
Yeah, you can put it out there
Alec,
for me out
is
there.
that you,
I'm in
Alec?
there.
Cara, you need to put a little guy up.
I'm just gonna put a rock.
Beautiful.
You brought a rock.
Love it.
I actually brought 5 rocks. Don't fucking judge me.
Why would I?
You travel with your rocks. Yeah, do your swing.
I carried a D20 in my pocket for like 5 years and never played
You
D&D.
fucking nerd.
Yeah.
You found it in a parking lot.
I found it in a parking lot.
So is that roll really bad?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Man, I found
It's
something in
terrible.
a parking lot that I carried with me for an ungodly amount
Is
of
it
Is that
time.
your billiard ball?
Yeah.
It's good.
Uh,
Funny.
I thought
Everyone-
it's fine.
everyone-
It's a rock. Everyone.
Everyone
Ouch.
is being bathed in a cone of negative energy that's emanating from its
Dope.
central eye.
Perfect.
While you're inside the cone of this eye, it's invisible. You wouldn't notice it until it washed over you, so it kind of makes sense that you would not know about it until you were inside of it. You cannot regain hit points,
Nice.
and I wouldn't want to die in it if I were
Heard.
you. But actually, it's not as bad as like the anti-magic cone that a beholder has. That's no good. All right, so you're casting blight
Yeah.
on
He
this
makes
death tyrant.
Con save.
I don't know. I'm
And
just saying what we need to do, and I don't have any.
for some reason, he does not have. He can be necrotic damage is fine. Okay, yeah. I thought he would be immune to it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not sure.
He fails.
Great. Then he takes. May I have
a lot of D8s.
5 more d8? I have 3.
He has all of her good spells.
1, 2, 3.
Here's 3.
4,
Everyone has all
1,
their good
2, 3.
I know.
5,
we
6,
started a
7.
boss fight with
Another
full
one?
on everything.
Yeah.
Didn't
Got it.
you guys just didn't attack that mind flayer, right? I half assumed you guys would fight that
Thing
that
automatically.
welcoming party for a hot second before it was like, please stop.
Secondly, trust Dell, and Dell was like,
I've
Here we go
come
in
to
the
say
tower,
hi.
y'all. 8d8 necrotic damage.
Do it.
wait.
Wow, I love how those fell. It's a great dice tower.
Yes.
No, not you. Sorry.
I'd hate for something to happen to it.
36 damage.
Shit.
I gotta count my fingers.
Oh!
Hey, don't judge.
Ooh-wee.
Don't feel
Thanks
judged.
everybody for your contributions.
Sip, just reach and grab your own shit.
I don't know who this is, so
Brother
pass
spell.
pass the handful around. That pink one is no quickness. Thanks, guys.
Oh, sweetie.
What?
You notice that as the spell takes effect, that
You
it
know it's
seems,
bad when he calls me
it seems
sweetie.
to have no effect.
What?
Read this text of the spell again.
Oh shit.
Doesn't work
Did
against
I just not
Sunday.
pay attention?
It's a good lizard learning moment.
Erased.
It says the spell has no effect on undead.
Or constructs.
Yeah.
Oh, we all die.
go to sleep now.
Good night, everyone.
Getting too
You wanna cast a different
old
spell
for
instead?
shit. No, I needed to learn.
The wizard lesson.
Brutal.
There's too many. I mean, I have pages. I have a whole stack of spells here. I just should have read it more thoroughly.
Do you just have another just damaging spell? Do you want to cast
Yeah, I
fireball
have-
at 4th level instead? I just feel like
Oh,
you have,
yeah.
I feel like you have a 19 perception. I don't feel like your necromancy
fair.
wizard would have been like, oh, I know
I
this
can do
spell
this.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Let me. Yeah. What if I?
I was trying to find that before I even said yes. I don't like.
You're mean,
Nice.
sweetie.
You just gave her a spell slot
I
back.
know. I just gave her back.
I know. I'm
I'm
teasing.
the mean one.
Can I?
No, you dead.
No, you're dead. Roll a d10.
Oh god.
No, you dead. Can you what?
Hold on. I gotta read this spell real
No,
fast.
I don't think so. You know what happens.
Yeah.
What spell is it?
Tasha's hideous laughter.
That probably would work.
Hair's getting real long, Jake.
Thanks, bro.
It's a wisdom
It's a
saving
statement.
throw.
Yeah, it just sounded like an observation.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, creature of your choice you can see within range, perceives everything is hilariously funny.
Needs an intelligence score of 4 or less is the only stipulation.
The holder is unaffected. They think everything's funny anyway.
No, yeah, this can totally affect it.
So now it just needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
What's your spell save?
16.
He fails.
Oh, good.
He's a,
Then he finds me quite hilarious.
He's fails.
It's a 4.
Right.
What? Yeah. So he starts
Falls
laughing.
Prone,
Being
becoming incapacitated and unable to
Yeah.
stand up.
When he
He's
falls
floating.
prone, he quite literally falls. He just like falls to the ground. And he's just like.
Is he laughing?
Yeah. He falls back into the bones that he was on top of, and he's just
on a pile of bones. How high is a pile of bones?
not very high.
What's that dice thing?
He's crushed it. That's how many feet in the air he was.
So is this cone gone now?
Yeah. He's looking up at the
Sweet.
sky.
Let's go poop on him, y'all.
Yeah, man.
On the ground now.
Let's pope on
At the end of
him.
each of his turns, each time he takes damage, he can make a save. Okay, cool. So otherwise it's con, and it lasts up to a minute. But he's incapacitated, which means he can't take any actions.
Awesome.
Which means he can't take legendary actions.
Great!
Which means
We should grab the
Who has
box
the
and
most
go?
damaging spell that we can at least get? Go smite that.
You just
fool.
No,
went, no, grab the box and go.
Yeah,
He
that's
can't
what I'm.
take
That's,
action.
that's literally what I was saying.
Go.
Yeah.
Let's just
Oh.
get out
Loot the
of here.
body. That's
Damn,
what I was saying. Loot the body.
fuck? Yo, get somebody go get the box.
All right,
Come
well,
on,
it's
Speedy
your
Loot
turn.
Man. Let's get out of here.
And she wants to fuck with the bones.
I'm going after that box. I made
You're
it
like,
like
chicken.
You've
Scuttling
gained.
across
She
the
can
way.
gain volition.
Yeah, and so I just like,
He's like starts
beeline
falling
for
out of
that
the air, and
box.
she's like, "Oh shit, yeah!"
You jump over, and as you jump over him, the silhouette of a chicken jumping over him just makes him laugh even more.
I feel like you start saying words while you're on your way.
Nah, I'm embarrassed.
How much speed you got as a chicken?
No,
Not much.
no,
Very
yeah, it's
little.
not much.
Not a lot.
Sorry.
I'm using all my action.
Oh, 30. My fly is 20 feet.
Great.
So you can fly for 20.
Okay, well you're
stats
a good 120 feet away from the box, so it will take 3 turns. Is that math? Is this me?
3 turns for you to get there. Ready?
Well, I'm at least telling you guys where I'm
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
I'm still going.
But I will let you reserve an
At
action
least go there.
as you're. Well, no, because you're dashing.
Yeah. I have
No,
4.
you're just like looking at.
We're
Okay,
all
cool.
gonna do it though.
Giving
so
us
we're-
all a
yeah,
real big
I have
blue.
4. Like I can just be like.
She says, "This is the new course of action."
All right.
Yeah.
And we all
you
follow
make a
along.
break for it.
Because we're all gonna be past him
Yeah.
on this side of the room of him.
Yeah.
So we'll say at the end of your next turn, you will be at the box.
Sure.
Where's the box at?
It's off. Don't worry about the map anymore. That was just to help understand where his eye beam was, because I thought we'd be fine.
Okay, so now we're out of the box. We're in abstract.
Out of the box.
All right, Halleck, what do you do?
I move towards the box.
Okay, cool.
A lot of
What's in
times.
the
His movement
To
speed
the
4
box.
Yeah, so 30 4 times.
Dope.
Okay, so it's the same as hers. So the end of your next turn, dashing, you'll be at the box. All right, 9 red lights. What do you do?
At least you got
You
it.
die!
Good.
Um,
He's not gonna correct you even.
I sprint towards the box.
What's your speed?
It's
We're all just like.
You can do 75.
I can do 75 because of my I can dash as a bonus action.
Can,
So you can get there.
Attack it or
You
will
went
it
really dark.
Yes.
It'll
No,
it'll
it
get a
can't-
save if it
Wait, if
takes.
you dash,
I'll get
it's
an
action,
action.
bonus
So
action,
don't
that's
cause
100
damage.
feet.
Okay. If anything,
I have
like
25
stand guard
feet.
and
25
prepare an
each,
action.
You,
To be
it's
like,
basically
if he
the
breaks
same because the
free,
amount of distance
I'm
is.
gonna hit him
Do you
as
want
my
to
turn instead
Right.
of taking my
Save
turn.
your
You can deal
Your
him damage.
fast
If you
hands
want
action
to,
or
but
something else.
please don't.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Can I
Like,
get there
say,
without
yeah.
using my
It will
fast
still
It'll
take
be
you
like
basically
unfrozen.
2 turns to get there, even at with
Potentially.
the
I'll
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
fast
Him
hands
to
action when I
potentially
get there.
Wake up.
It's my
Okay.
How
Okay.
do we get
Yeah.
out of here?
Yeah. So
How
you'll
long
dash
does
and you'll
that-
still have
on
that.
my next turn.
You'll still have
Yeah.
that
If we
bonus
get out of here,
action
there's no
free.
That's what I
reason to
thought.
hit it.
Or you can use your bonus action to dash
shit.
and have your
Yeah.
action
So,
free.
like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Good shit.
That's the best thing.
I feel
Alright.
like now that I'm thinking about
Laughter
it,
is
I
the
should
best
be
medicine.
dashing the other way, like to the door, because these people definitely get.
And she turns
Actually,
as soon as everybody starts running away. She
Yeah.
She's like, actually, changed my mind.
No,
Right?
but
Like you guys, you just go past
You
me.
got
I'm
this.
like, I don't even have thumbs.
fair point.
I was literally thinking, how's she gonna pick this box up?
I was gonna
What
peck
when
at
she
it.
gets there?
Just like shove it.
Hey, that's some solid
with your.
that's some solid characterization, man.
As you guys are all running
Just reserve a
towards
fireball.
anyone who's running towards the box right now, the area underneath your
He'll
feet
get
is
every turn he
becoming.
gets a chance to get out of it. Sorry.
No, I know. I'm just wondering what you're saying.
Every turn he gets a chance to get out of it.
Yeah, you want to share that with all of us over here?
Every turn he gets a chance to get
I
out of it.
might even. I don't know. The ground underneath your feet literally becomes like a spongy, like
Like poop?
tissue. No, it's like alien
Sorry, I don't know
skin.
why I went there.
Like poop. And it is
Wanna
difficult
see what's in my
terrain.
pocket?
So anyone who's running, it's gonna take
Even longer.
even longer.
Nice.
Super neat.
And
Didn't
What
see
a
that
coincidence.
it is now his turn, and at the end of his turn, he will attempt another wisdom saving throw. What's your spell save again?
16.
All right, he is no
Passes.
longer incapacitated.
Damn it!
He rights himself.
That did not work well.
But you are all dispersed enough that he can't. He'll have to select one of you with his beam now as you're running around. So
We're all past him towards.
yeah,
this
he's gonna have to turn.
I
So right
thought
now
it
is
was the end of his turn. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I thought it was at the end of his turn. He got to make the wisdom save.
He doesn't get
It
He
is.
did, but he didn't get an action.
But he still looks.
I was
at it.
incapacitated, so.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
No, and
I'm
actually,
sorry.
he repositions it. It says at the start of his turn. So
Okay.
the eye effect
Oh.
won't.
Okay.
At the start of his turn, he determines where his eye is facing.
I was just confused
Yeah.
about.
So he's
what we were-
gathering his
what
wits.
happened.
Right now, he's kind of floating back up and getting. But that's
Collecting
that's it.
himself.
That's his turn. Kara, what are you doing?
Beholding himself.
We're just all running towards this box apparently.
Do you want to run? Well, have you
Well,
started?
he's not frozen anymore. So
Yeah,
you can hit him.
I'm gonna wail up.
You're
Yeah.
still like right in front of him.
Fucking
So
totally, Savannah.
Let's just I'm this rock.
Yeah, beat
I'm a
it.
rock.
Kill him.
You should put another
Kill
rock out
him.
for tag.
Beat him
Remember
up.
to take his turn.
I got that. I was
You
gonna
need to
tell
get
her.
tag out.
Oh, I forgot about
Okay.
my
I'll help.
Oh, help!
Tag my trusted
I'll
companion.
help you, my lady.
Does he? I think he probably has like a little crush on him.
Just jumped over the wall.
Nice.
He's been.
He's
trying-
like-
he's
like
been
trying
late.
to catch
Yeah,
up.
I feel like it wouldn't be little. I feel like she'd be his
22
idol.
to
Like,
hit
he
my,
would.
with my short sword and
Whoa.
20 to hit with my war pick.
All right. They
Dope.
both hit and tag hits.
Okay.
With my sword.
And my axe.
And my bow. Yeah.
You're going to have to toss me.
And my sword. And my bow.
14 damage altogether for me.
Yeah.
What do I roll for tag again?
16.
He has a short sword, so a
think
d6,
he's-
right?
I think he makes like a flat 300.
I think
It's
so
a flat
too.
73.
It's a flat insta kill. No numbers.
It's a deck save death ray.
I'm One Punch Man.
It's a deck save.
Here, it's a deck
So
save.
he does
death ray.
6 damage.
I stabbed it.
The show pain.
And I'm gonna action surge.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm going to literally double melee attack again.
Yeah.
Again.
Kill him.
Again.
Fine.
So
She's just like
19
hits.
and 22.
Hits.
In a murderous rage.
Oh gosh.
The bloody
Keeping
butcher.
it.
Yeah.
11 and 11.
Nice.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to follow it up with war magic, and I'm going to hit him with a firebolt.
No.
Maybe I feel like having lost your whole group before, like them all
I'm
dying in
just-
front
yeah,
of
I'm,
you. You're
like,
like really
terrified.
triggered
I'm not
by
doing
this, and
this.
we almost all died
I'm
in
not
front of
losing you
so
again.
like
I am not doing
Yeah.
this again.
She's
So
like,
you're just
she
like-
crying a little bit.
Okay.
You want to know some real? If you hadn't shown up tonight, because I don't know why anyone thought that, but if you hadn't shown up tonight, I was gonna definitely kill everybody.
And then 12 for the final.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you saved the
You
day.
saved that you.
I would be like, I'm gonna kill them, and that way it'll be like she was the only one left from that
Thank
party.
God.
2 groups again.
Thank God.
He was still alive.
All right.
Nicely done.
Cool. That was a ton of damage. Have a hero point. You went
Okay.
wilding out. The Death Tyrant is befuddled and unhappy with your aggression,
Ooh.
and
I'm
will
sure he
use
would
his
be.
legendary action
What?
to
Deck
zippity
save
zorp
death
you.
ray.
Roll 2d10. Take the higher.
Oh.
2.
That's disadvantage. Or not.
Well,
Fuck.
This music's so charming.
You'll be good. Don't worry about it.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
What was it?
What's he doing?
Nat 20.
Yes, girl.
Nice.
go.
Roll a d4.
I know, dude. It's insane. She's got
Not gonna talk
freaking-
about it.
yeah.
No, not just her. You two too.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's right.
On an even, you won't take any damage.
2.
Nice.
All right, yeah. You dodge the beam completely as this beam of inversion makes the colors invert as it blasts past you.
And your
I have
rocks.
no idea what that means.
You
Working on
rocks.
magic.
You rocks. All right, Sayla.
Fire.
Sorry.
Well,
Are you gonna do anything?
Clacklemang.
Are you gonna do anything?
yeah.
Are you gonna do anything?
You doing?
It's your turn, man. It's your
Cast
turn, bro.
Branding Smite as a bonus action.
Oh no.
Oh no. Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Oh no.
Let's be good.
Women are awful.
20 to hit.
I didn't know he was misogynistic.
I mean,
He was
Seems-
a little
it
bit.
seems-
It's kind of hard to
the
tell. from
90s were
watching the show.
misogynistic. I
You
don't know.
don't have to.
What did you roll?
I'm
I'm
kidding.
sorry, sir.
I'm kidding.
None nat
There's a lot
20
of
to hit.
underlying-
Very
That
easy
hits.
to
Goes
tell.
Second
Maybe
attack
not
will
here.
be a 16 to hit.
16 does not hit.
Channel Divinity, Guided Strike plus, so 26 to hit.
Well, that hits.
Yeah.
Well, that hurts.
And I'm gonna use a second level spell slot to smite the first hit, and a first level spell slot to smite the second hit.
There it is.
Boom.
So hold on, I need.
You need to write this down.
Yeah, I do.
What all have you done just this turn?
Branding Smite.
Which is
So
probably the
that's
first time you've ever done damage in this
6.
entire
I'm
campaign.
saying.
2d8
Oh man, I don't want to say it on the stream. Never mind. I got T.
3d8 for smite,
This after the
2d8
stream.
for
I'm
smite.
talking about paladin
Spill that.
calculation
Plus-
blows.
Oh.
20.
So fun.
Okay, so I need
No.
78.
Can't throw shit at people on the
You have a
internet.
D8? Anybody have a D8?
How about
I
that?
got it.
Team D8.
Plus
yeah,
every
we're
person
here.
I've ever played with.
Roll
I've
call
never had a
D8.
bad playing
Oh,
experience. If you've played D&D with me, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I did not like
I
it.
need. Or, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's right. I
Nice.
need 1d6.
You never
Well,
not like it.
Those are coming back to you.
I love double
Thank you for
negatives.
your help.
Make 'em.
Double
the
negatives
tower.
are fun.
You want the tower? bud?
Aren't they
Yeah.
not though?
Am-
Take it. Give him the
Ambiguities.
tower. Oh my god.
Oh wait. Is it? This thing's undead, right?
Oh no.
Oh, I need 4 more d8.
Uh-oh! On the way,
Oh
Mama.
no!
Yeah.
No, D10s. Sorry.
Oh!
This is all wrong. I'm using a Howard. I need D10s on everything.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Excitement! Excitement!
So I need 9 D10s all day.
Damn.
God.
All day.
There's
I got
another one on the board.
Are you
There's one on the board if
Shaking
you
in
need
my
it.
boots.
shaking in your boots
Well, he doesn't have boots.
when the boss has a second
Shaking
health
in your
bar?
sockets.
And your tentacles.
Your eye
Are you
sockets.
thinking about that? What time is it?
All right.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm moving that here.
All bets are off when a battle begins.
I would
What?
I said all bets are off when a battle begins.
you.
sir.
How many tens did you get?
I will hold you
Not
here
enough.
an hour afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I was just messing with you about.
No, I know. Unlimited power. Loading.
What?
I love how it turns into open heart surgery. Like it's like shh, quiet in the room.
Plus that.
We gotta count these.
72 radiant damage.
Oh!
Oh my
What?
god.
Get burnt up.
Radiant damage.
Get burnt up.
That's sick. Hey, that's pretty
Sick
good.
burn. Sick burn. Sick
Point,
burn.
point, point, point.
Damn.
Wow.
That's not bad.
Roll a percentage die,
Okay.
Bryce.
Alrighty.
Oh.
Even if Sayla dies here, that's fine. That was great.
That was fun.
That's beautiful.
Because he's pissed. That thing is like.
God.
Ooh, we got a few rounds to go. Close
22.
Try to kill on me.
So as you pull the halberd and you strike with the second blow, the force of the strike causes the Death Tyrant to crack down the center, its eyes drifting upwards as it calls back and curls up and inverts into a crumbling dust,
Nice.
almost silently.
Bye,
Almost makes
Felicia.
And my name wasn't Felicia.
Don't get the reference.
Son of Janitor.
Yeah, and with that, the room is silent. Everybody have a hero point.
Yay!
Everybody level up.
Yeah!
And collect your reward.
Does
I loot the
level
body.
up? Great, I'll
there
meet
is-
you in the bedroom.
There is no body.
I just go. I go grab the box.
Oh yeah. Inside the box, there is a handful of things. The main thing being a pouch made of it's like a chainmail pouch made of adamantine. The pouch is nice. It's not really. It's maybe worth like 50 gold pieces. But inside is what you would surmise to be the Sigma Stone. It's a very small piece of crystal that seems to have multi faces and has a piece of leather strap around it. It's very old. It looks like a fragment of something larger, but as you look through it, you see a reflection, and in each face of the reflection is a different version of yourself. It's different animals if you look through it, and then one of them is you.
Okay.
And then all of you, maybe it's you with an eye patch. Maybe it's
That's
you as a pirate.
I feel like this is the first
But
time
It's me
we've
with
seen
not a
Minerva.
gross eye.
No, you saw me when I was
Got
like
gross eye
casting
now.
magic, like in my shadow.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But
Or like
anyways,
shape.
so that's the
I
thing
think
that they
one
want.
was kinda cool.
And otherwise, there is exactly enough items for everybody to have an item.
Good
know.
job, everyone. Good job. Good job, Spanner. Thanks for coming. You crushed that thing. Action surge.
Now you saved us.
You also answered one
You're
of the
searching.
riddles.
Oh, but
I
all
like
the
riddles.
riddles.
I hate them.
I fancied myself pretty good at riddles until we did D&D riddle.
And then I was like,
I
yeah,
think I won that
fucking
one.
Through the pressure.
The
No,
pressure.
you definitely did all the riddles. I think you're the only one that answered a riddle.
All right.
Well, I
Well,
meant at
we're just gonna
house
award
party.
some gear and
thing she did.
have our
Yeah,
pleasantries and
and
say
D&D
goodbye to
party.
our friends. And I just want to say thank you, friend, for tuning in and hanging out with us. Be sure to come back to our neighborhood next time and grab a sword, swing it around. You know, maybe you'll hit someone.
Don't hit your
From all of us
friends.
here at Thief Fighter Mage, remember,
Suck
Suck
it!
it!
Suck it!